Welcome. I am AdaKay. Grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's hop into court. Well, good morning, everybody. How are you? Yes, it's early. The light is off. Got some mood going. What do you think? Welcome, everybody. Oh my gosh, today has been an awesome day already. Yeah, last night was a wild night. If you weren't with us when we were watching day one of the witchcraft murder trial, y'all missed it. We got crazy out there. Absolutely got crazy. It was this trial is insane, and I kid you not. Luckily, I think the worst is over. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting trial. It really is. Basically, this gentleman, and I say it loosely, is charged with ending the life of his mother and her beloved pet. But oh my gosh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to all of our trial junkies. No, I've not had one sip. Oh, I made my coffee and I didn't even put my creamer in it. Although I don't have to put creamer in my coffee because you know why? It's freshly roasted, freshly ground, and it is fabulous. And speaking of fabulous, let's go ahead and have a word from our amazing sponsor. Hey, y'all. I am so excited we have our very first sponsor, and I'm wearing this hat to honor them. Who is it? Well, it's coffee, my favorite thing. This coffee is from Hitchman Homestead Coffee. This is the Shooter Shack Coffee Pioneer Nicaraguan Roast. This coffee is so delicious, y'all. It is so smooth. It does not leave a chemical taste on the back of the tongue. It's not overly bitter. And I have to tell you, it is my favorite. And I am now getting rid of all my other coffee. I kid you not. They have a monthly subscription available. You get 4 12-ounce bag a month, either whole beaned or ground. And then you can also get a Keurig option as well. The other thing they have is wonderful gift boxes that you can send to your loved ones. So you want to support a fabulous home business and people here in the Hill Country, go to hitchmanhomestead.com and let them know I sent you and grab yourself some of the best tasting coffee we have here in Texas Hill Country. Y'all, it really is. Okay, beloveds, we're going to do our happy birthdays this morning. We don't have too many, but that's okay. We're still doing it anyway.
Birthday to you.
To you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Woohoo! Happy birthday
to you.
Okay, y'all, we have happy birthday to Ashley. Miss Gina, have a happy birthday. Davella, happy birthday. Oh gosh, I can't see them all. It's hidden. Let me go over here. Sorry. And Stephanie, y'all have a happy birthday today. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Let's rock it out of here. Y'all. Ooh, it's a morning. It's a morning. Let me see everybody. Hi. Oh, Mary Kate. Oh, thank you. I love you, man. But I got some news. I got some news. Y'all. Y'all. I got something. Are you ready?
Breaking news.
Are y'all ready? Are you ready to see the breaking news? I got breaking news, guys. Our membership launch! Woohoo! We did it! We did it! Thank you! Thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! We did it! First, I got to say thank you to my amazing mod manager. I call her my mod boss. You are so awesome. Oh, you work so hard behind the scenes, but y'all, this is our new membership launch day. You can now sign up for memberships, and for everybody who signs up for the next 7 days, I will send you one of these lovely membership launch cards. If you send me well, I'll have your name. I'll put your name and your membership number. And if you want one, we will send it to you via email, whatever. Oh my gosh, y'all, I got to turn the fan on. I'm hot. Whew. It is, we've got a storm coming through. Oh, see, Morales, you can't see the membership button. Mom, we do have memberships. Well, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. You are awesome, Mary Kay. You have blessed me so much. Thank you. Oop, did I just do something wrong? I sure did. I don't know what I did. Oh, well, I can do. We are waiting for trial. You want to be number 2? Okay, well, let's see. I see super chat stickers. I don't know where memberships are. This is all new to me. Don't give me no lying. Don't get me no lying. Miss Kevin? I just sent her a little quick, fast thing. Eddie, drop down at live chat. Well, I don't even see it. Maybe I can't. I don't know. Van. Well, actually, you would be number 1. I just put number 1 on mine. You would be number 1. Who wants to be number 1? Okay. For those of you who are just joining us, this trial was very graphic last night. I had to do a whole lot of censoring. And on top of that, all of our pet-loving people, I'll try to shield you as best I can, but y'all, a beloved pet did not survive. I apologize. Nothing I can do. I'm so heartbroken. I know. Let me go onto my page directly. Go under today. It was tough. And what I hate is, no, I don't see membership. Bleh, maybe I won't. I don't know. I don't know. This is something that's totally new for us. So be patient. mod? Where's my mod? I'm all alone in the world. Nobody cares about me. I'm kidding. You guys are so awesome. And I really, really appreciate you. This has been an unexpected journey. Honestly, when I started this, I never thought I'd be doing this. But it is what it is. Oh, let me get down. He's not a group petition for stay. Hopefully the courts will keep things in check. No worries, I'm not going anywhere. So happy to. Oh, yeah, I know. But if you want to be the first, I want you to be the first. So when my mod gets back with me, I will get back with you. So, oh, thank you so much. She's hopping on. They can't see it, Miss Kevin. They can't see the mod. Okay, they can't see the membership. Oh, she said, I'm working on it. Enough. I'm here. Die. It's good. The button's up. I don't understand what that means. Refresh your screens, everybody. Oh, you mean I gotta refresh? You mean I gotta refresh? You mean really? I don't like to refresh. That's a shower and everything. My mod is going to kill me today. My mod, darling, I can't lip read you that small. You want to hop on and say this? Okay, come on in, mod. Sure, everybody give her applause. She has earned it. She has worked so hard.
There! Yay!
Yep.
It's there.
All right, Miss Morales, get with my mod. I'm throwing her under the bus. If you want a digital thing like I did with your name and number 1 as a first member, I'll send it to you. What was that?
I'm so excited. I was nervous when at first
You
I'm like
sound-
it didn't work. I was like, oh no, what's wrong? And then I had to go in the back end and do something, but it worked.
That was like, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I was like, oh no,
Is it early?
It is. Well, it's almost 9:30, but my kids are still sleeping. That should tell you what kind of day we had.
Oh yeah, but I am so happy for y'all. I mean, you
I know.
and I don't know why court is not giving me a feed yet. Yay, Miss Diane. Gorgeous Diane. My interpreter's here. I'm not alone in the world. Everybody cares about me. You may not know that song. That's a very, very old barbershop song called I'm All Alone in the World. Nobody cares about me. Oh my gosh. Y'all, it's not live yet, is it? Because I can't. It's just waiting. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you, C. Morales. Oh my gosh. First member, Miss Diane, I'm bringing you.
Oh, I'm right. Woohoo!
Woo! There we go. Oh, beautiful. That is fabulous. What did you do?
I made myself beautiful, and it's early in the morning.
It is
No,
early in the morning.
Always beautiful. Her eyes are gorgeous.
Thank you. So are you, darling? You know, you're
Our
fine.
first member,
Yes.
Miss C. Morales. We have memberships now.
Oh, wonderful,
We
wonderful.
launched memberships.
Got to let my coffee cool off.
Well, when we were rooming together at a conference, I don't know if you remember this. You were You're like, we gotta get up. And I was like, whoa, you beautiful doll. You went, "Mm."
Great big beautiful doll.
Oh, we have another member. Sneaky's your number 2.
Yay!
You look so excited, Diane.
So what happened last night after I left? Because I went straight to bed.
It was crazy.
It,
Did they put him on the stand?
no. But there was a lot of images I had to filter out. It was, it,
He had a lot of anger, didn't he?
huh?
He had a lot of anger, didn't he?
Yes, and Ada found two loves of her life. To
Did.
Found my husband, my next husband, and the husband after that.
Well, that's
Two or three.
Tell me one, please. But I
Let's
want one.
just say
I want one
we
that likes to cook and likes to clean and will let me
One of
travel
each.
and will pay for me to travel and will meet me at the airport with open arms and flowers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not much.
Well, these two guys were some of the hottest witnesses I've ever. We're talking 9-packs, baby.
Oh.
The veterinarian. Woo,
I'll have to go back and watch it.
that was a what?
I
All
think
right. I think I am going to leave you ladies to it. I will be lurking around if you need me, and
lurking around, be lurking.
I've embarrassed my head mod, my mod boss.
That's only
You're the
because
mod boss.
Yeah.
she is
I-
involved in a serious relationship.
I'm a married woman.
That's yeah.
I know
That's
it.
okay.
Happily married, which actually, funny enough, we are about to celebrate 9 years. This coming month, we will have been together for 9 years. We've been married for 5, but we've been together for 9 years.
Yay! Congratulations.
I'm so
Woohoo!
excited. Yep. And it's funny because the only way I remember that is because for our 1-year anniversary, he got me a cat, and the cat is 8. So I'm like, okay, the cat's 8, so we have been together for 9 years.
That is funny.
I know.
Hey,
About something.
better than nothing.
Yes.
Better than nothing.
I
You
need
know-
you to pray about something for me. I
Oh.
cannot find my charger to my Apple Watch.
Oh no.
And I really need it because it'll be on my wrist when it buzzes and I can immediately check it because I'm losing work right and left because the company I did a lot of work with, they went to Globo. And so they don't, it's a long story, but nevertheless, I need
Go find it.
my watch.
Go find it. We'll
Yeah.
wait. Court hadn't started.
Well, yes, I've looked everywhere I know to look. So it's somewhere. All right, guys. I didn't
Did you look in a pair of pockets? Jeans or pant pocket?
It's been a year since I've used it.
Oh.
And I've moved.
Oh,
Yes. So I'm
I
like,
have to
that's
get
I have-
one.
Diane,
fine.
if you can't find it,
I'll
I've
order.
got an extra one.
Oh, please send it to me. And if I find mine, I'll send yours back.
It may have a crack on it, but it still works great.
Well, it's not that, it's the charger.
Oh, I got 5 of those.
Well, send me 2 of those then.
Well, do me a favor. Email me your address. I will send it off tomorrow.
No, send it off today. Send it off.
Oh, look at this. Northwest said behind bed, headboard, or nightstand. Well, she's moved quite a bit.
Thank you, thank you. I will definitely. You know what? I'm going to put my address right here in the chat. Is that all right with you?
In the private
With the
one?
private chat?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to pull
Yep.
these up really quick
Bye.
so we can get some good practice. We got our new member, C. Morales,
Woohoo!
and our new member, Sneaky Side. Memberships have launched. Yay! So exciting. I am so pumped.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought they
and
were
we got-
broken.
Ooh.
Yes, Mary Kay, thank you so much.
Oh, she is so awesome. This is a good way to wake up in the morning, y'all.
It is. a
I
good way to wake
actually-
up in the morning.
I didn't go to sleep till 1:30 because we were here till late. I get
was bored
home
on dirty.
and my daughter has a T-bone.
That's me.
No, ribeye.
Oh, perfect.
Ribeye. Potatoes.
You
I
Oh,
was
I hear a baby.
happy. Huh?
I hear a baby. I better be gone.
Be gone.
a
I had a good meal.
You know
It
what
was
I ate?
what?
I had cooked spaghetti and I had thawed out some Adele's chicken meatballs because I was cleaning out my freezer. So and I added that to the frozen spaghetti sauce that I had frozen prior. And so I cooked spaghetti. And then I fixed a salad. And the salad had cucumbers, cheese, and tomato and lettuce in it. Okay. And bread. And by the time I cooked it all, I was tired. So, and this is what happens for me. By the time I cook and I'm tired, I don't want to eat. I don't want to. So I ate a piece of bread and something to drink. And then I came in here and I did this. And then when I finished this, I went to the kitchen and I picked out the cucumbers and the tomatoes out of what salad was left. And I took them to the bedroom. And that's what I ate. And that was fine. It satisfied me. Amen on that, sister.
Oh, hallelujah. Preach it.
Hey,
Guys, we got to be friendly. We got men on here too, y'all. Let's be all accessible.
problem is, I was married to him for 23 years, and then we were divorced for 26 years, and now he's living with me again to try to get his weight down because he looks like the Michelin tire man. And
Oh,
his kids don't want him to die. And I watched him eating last night, and he doesn't have any teeth because he's too lazy to go to the dentist because Medicare will pay for his dentures. And he's sitting there and he's got spaghetti stringing down. And I thought,
oh, come on. No, you're not. You're not, Andrell. You're fine. I'm just being silly.
I'm not bashing on men. I'm just telling you what happened with my ex.
No, she said she didn't mean to bash on men when we
Yeah.
said we don't want to have to parent. You know, there's a lot of good men out there. They're just taken.
I just want one. I don't want
Just one.
string.
I don't need 100. Just one.
Don't need two. I just want one.
No. And I don't know why court has not started. And I'm going to be mortified if court has started. We need to find out if court has started. I'm refreshing.
You got coffee. We got
Okay, why does this live feed does not? Oh, wait, come on, guys. I'm trying to help you out now. I'm going to have to go to the other feed, but it's just staring. LNC can't stand them, but it's just staring at the wall. We have
We do.
Trial TV Live, which is a wonderful, wonderful group, and they have it. Yay. Yeah. We're going to share this page. I've got it in the background waiting, so when trial starts, we'll be good. So let's go. Come on. Okay. So they just have the ceiling view right now.
Oh, we're looking
So-
at the ceiling. Do we like it?
No,
No.
it's not the hot veterinarian. That guy was cute. But yeah, I can appreciate God's beauty.
God did good when he put certain men together. Some
Mhm.
were left over apart.
But do you know what? It's interesting. Many years ago, I dated this military guy. I went to high school with him, and then he went in the military, and then we connected. And, you know, he had the six-pack going. He was a gunner on a tank. He was fit. And he had hair this short. And he spent more time in that bathroom than I did. I was like, ain't happening.
I remember I was in like the 8th grade, and my teacher one day, and she was teaching class. We didn't have air conditioning in the school was in, so the windows were up, and she was teaching. And all of a sudden, she just stopped and was looking out the window, and she says, "Guys, I'm sorry, I just got distracted watching the boys in the bathroom primping." You could see to the boys' bathroom, and they were in there just doing their ducktails and their.
I don't take long to get ready. This girl can do full beat, is what they call in the makeup industry, means full face. I can do a full beat. Literally, I have done it in 5 minutes on a challenge. So,
I can do a full beat in a minute because this is it.
yep. But I'm talking everything, eyelashes, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, guys, if I can do it faster than you can get your hair finished when you don't have hair, oh, come on now. I'm like, what are you doing?
Life.
Do you remember the Stetson cologne and the guy, the old man from
Yeah.
City Slickers whose hands were all arthritic, and he poured on his hands and he'd go, confidence is sexy, don't you think?
I know.
That was,
I remember that.
that was the best commercial.
Okay.
I am makeup and hair impaired. I'm impressed. Well, I better be able to do it. I'm a professional makeup artist by trade. I've been doing it since I was 20.
Yeah.
Better.
I used to sell beauty control, and I did really well with it.
Yeah, too bad they closed down and all their just shut down.
I think it was issues with their financing department. Somebody did something somewhere.
Somebody was padding their pockets, is what it was.
Yeah, they had some great products.
Yeah, they did.
I liked
For those,
was their lip balm. Thing I liked best was their lip balm.
hi, Ronnie. I have to send you some of our fabulous lip balm. Hi, Ronnie. Guess what? We're going to do it again, y'all, because I'm excited. Look what we got. Isn't it awesome? We have launched our memberships. Woohoo! We're so excited. And we've got 2 members. See, Morales was member number 1, and member number 2 is Sneaky Side. I am so excited. I will be I'm reading something in our mod corner. I am going to start doing membership lives once a week. I got to figure out what day works. They will be for members only, and they will not be monetized. So we can have fun, say whatever we want. People, people can come on. I'll have guests. It'll be a little more looser format. There still will be some rules. I mean, I do have my limits.
Can't get too loose, we'll lose some parts.
Huh?
Said we can't get too loose, we'll lose some parts.
Yeah. At our age, we can't get too loose. We'll lose some parts. Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
I don't need to lose any more parts.
Only parts I want to throw away are those that are weighty. I don't lose weight. You know why? Because when you lose something, you generally find it again. I throw weight away.
Good for you. That's a good point. Good morning, Ronnie. Everybody, good morning to you.
My head is
Now, if you were not on this trial last night, it is a difficult trial.
okay, hold. I am in the room. Tell me when we're going to court or when they're coming up because I got some boxes I can look through for court.
Okay. So, basically, a good friend of the deceased went to the house because they couldn't reach her. And when they got there, her car was there, but they couldn't reach her. And I guess she didn't show up for something. So, like the typical thing is, someone goes and look. And she went in the house and saw the purse and realized something's wrong because either she slept in or she's sick or something. Well, she gets into the bedroom and finds the decedent in a not very good condition. And she found the puppy on the couch wrapped in a blanket. Deceased, not in good condition. So we haven't got too far into this yet. They have shown one body camera thing, and we kind of skim through that. We are not going to show that. One thing about my channel is I don't show any thing that shows the victim. Well, I might show like a hand with a scratch, but I won't show any details. It is not who I is. Hold on. I'm waiting to see if Mom's going. Okay, I got a thing tonight, so I'm waiting to see. I've got. Oh my God. Ooh. Here comes the yawnies. I actually did something with my hair. I braided and put it up. I don't know. Oh, Court, come on. I've been here since 7 a.m. I woke up at 6:30 and couldn't go back to sleep. So I thought I'd come and get all dolled up for my member launch. For my members, oh my gosh, I cannot believe we have members. I love you guys. I'm a little bit humbled by this. I would sit when we first started this, and I was not intending to go this far because I didn't think this is what I was going to end up doing. And now that we have memberships and sponsorships and we're monetized, God has blessed me. Sometimes there's a door open and you don't know you're walking through it. That's all I gotta say. I don't know yet. I don't know if she's going yet. I'll find out when she wakes up. If she's not going, I'll go with you. Hey there, Braxton. Braxton. Look, you missed out. Look what happened this morning. We have memberships. Did you find it, Miss Diane?
In the mail.
I'm sorry, what?
I will be watching for a package in the mail from you. I don't know where it's at.
Well, it depends on what time this finishes. If I can get it in the mail today. If not, it will be in the mail tomorrow. Okay?
Okay. You don't hear
I'll get it there as quickly as I can.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, doll. Braxton. We had so much fun with you last night, Braxton. Braxton is funny. I enjoy him. Okay. So there's movement in the courtroom, but we still don't have a courtroom. I thought they were supposed to start at 8, then 8:30, and now it's 9 o'clock. So what's happening here? I could have slept another hour? Really?
I thought I was late.
Oh, thank you, Sneaky Side. I didn't realize it. She proofed it. Okay, I'll take care of it. I'm going to redo it anyway, honestly. Honestly, I'm going to redo it. I just decided I need to change it up a little bit. So we're going to change it up. So I'll go ahead and do that. Let me look at that. Well, I can't because then it'll go. Okay, she liked it.
They're looking at
Everybody,
her.
why do I have a little pending? Oh, yes, Nikki Side, you are a friend. I am. Oh, that's right. I forget to tell you guys. Please go over to Discord. Ahmad will drop that in when they can. Go over to Discord for inside communication with us, communicating with the interpreter herself. We are going to start having a members only section to Discord in the near future. Got to figure out how to do that. We also will be posting just whatever materials we can chit chat. Thank you, Andrea. So we're working on things. We have a members only section that's going to be happening right now. We have a member chat. So we'll probably call it the VIP members. We have Ada's Corner, which is where I hop in and goof off with y'all a little bit. We have all kinds of stuff. So please hop on over there and join us. And that is where you can leave me information about you. If I need to send you something, if you win something, you are welcome to leave that contact information in there. So people have won, Ronnie. I know I still got to mail yours out. I'll try and get it out tomorrow. But people have won their tumblers and nobody's claimed them. Who does not claim a Starbucks tumbler? They have a red one out now. I am so obsessed with it. I'm going to go get it in the next day or two, I think. It looks like jewels. It is so gorgeous. I think it's coming out. It just came out, so it's a newer one. But I got Starbucks tumblers I've given away.
How would you like to have a banana rum coconut cookie? Yeah, I thought so. I ain't got any. I'm just looking.
Oh, girl,
Just a thought.
don't make me hungry.
I'm sitting here looking through a grilling cookbook.
Oh, don't. Braxton, let's see what she says. Keep sex. No, we don't need
I don't know. I don't understand.
Oh, I don't know the joke. He goes, oh, we don't need another one.
Another cookie?
It's partay drama. Oh, that is good. I will never forget what that term is. Oh, by the way, the Young Thug case, the second judge has been recused. They're going for a third.
On which case?
Young Thug. Oh God, what's the name? What's a YSL? It's a rapper, I guess, singer. What do they call that, Kate? It's not a Brady. It's a Anyway, it's a case, and there's like 9 defendants, all of them at the same time. They've been in trial for 8, 9 months, 10 months. It's a gang case, and well, because you have in the courtroom instead of RICO, that's it. You have in the courtroom. Oh, I got to do this. Sorry, guys. Don't you hate it when you get something in your shoe? You have a RICO case, which is kind of like a just read Miss Kevin's comment. So it's called Young Slime Stoner Life. Oh, we got court. But anyway, it is bad. And there are literally 9 9 people in one case being charged, and they each have at least 2 attorneys. So for every witness, there's like 10 directs, 10 crosses, 10 redirects, 10 recrosses. I mean, it's crazy. But the judge got thrown off the case because of his behavior. And yeah, it not be good.
Each to their own.
Well, yeah, but now they're having to do yet another judge. I don't know why yet. Okay, our volume is up. It's on them.
Before we
We don't
bring the
have
jury in, Mr. Blair or Mr. Hoover,
We do
can you
not have
report,
captioning,
did you
Diane.
have a conversation with your client this morning at the jail? We did. Okay. And has he indicated his preference about whether he wants to be here today or not be here?
He has indicated that he does not want to be here today, that it is the Sabbath and it is a religious day for him.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay.
A
Shelley,
Thursday
let's go
is
ahead and bring
Sabbath?
the jury in.
That's weird, y'all. I gotta put the glasses on. I'm squinting too much.
You're what, too much?
That doesn't help any. So they're bringing the jury in. Bring the jury. Actually, I do it separate. I should do this.
All rise. Bring the jury.
Please be seated, everyone. Okay, good morning, folks. Do we have a witness for the state?
Yes, Your Honor, we would call Dr. Kelly Cruz.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead and have a seat there.
Thank you.
State your name and spell it for the record, please.
My name is Kelly Cruz. It's KELLYKRUSE.
Mr. Nelson?
Thank you, Your Honor. What is your occupation?
I am an associate state medical examiner at the Iowa office of the state medical examiner.
How long have you held that position?
Approximately 6 years.
You're currently employed there, I presume, at the state?
Yes.
And you've been there for 6 years?
Yes.
How long have you been a physician?
I've been a physician since 2013.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
That's right. You're talking to a chaplain.
Let me show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 25. Could you tell me what that document is?
This is a copy of my CV or my resume.
Is that true and accurate reflection of your educational and work history?
Yes, it is.
I move to admit Exhibit 25.
Any objection? No objection. 25 is admitted.
Could you explain to the jury briefly just what it is you do in your job?
So I'm a board certified forensic pathologist. So I'm trained to perform autopsies. Those are examinations on deceased individuals, primarily to determine the cause of death. So what led for them to die, whether it be a natural disease or an injury. And then I determine manner of death, which describes the circumstances surrounding someone's passing. I perform autopsies, I then write autopsy reports, I interpret toxicology findings, I read medical records, I teach medical students, I provide expert testimony, and do other things within my office, but those are my primary duties.
Thank you. On or about January 19th of this year, did you perform an autopsy on Jennifer Dazey?
Yes, I did.
May I approach again, Your Honor?
Yes.
Show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 26. Is that your report of autopsy?
Yes, it is.
I would move to admit Exhibit 26.
Any objection?
No objection.
26 is admitted.
And may I approach again?
Yes.
Let me show you what's been marked Exhibit 26A. Are those photos or some of the photos that are part of your report?
Yes.
Did you select certain photos that you believe would be helpful in describing the injuries and your conclusions?
Yes, I did.
And that's what's contained in that exhibit?
Yes.
Move to admit Exhibit 26A.
Any objection?
No objection.
26A is admitted.
So let's look at your autopsy report. And on page 1, you have pathologic diagnoses. Is that sort of a table of contents to the rest of your report?
Yes, it is.
And it's a list of findings from your autopsy?
Yes, it's a summary of all of my findings, which includes the cause of death and any additional findings.
And then you elaborate as your report goes on, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, in Exhibit 26A, that group of photos, is that something that helps you in describing your findings in the report?
Yes.
So let's start with your pathologic diagnosis number 1. And at any time when we go through and you're explaining this, if you would like a photo put up, let us know which one and we can put that up.
Okay.
So on pathologic diagnosis number 1, could you explain what that means?
So the first diagnosis is my cause of death. The cause of death in this case was multiple sharp force injuries. Underneath that 1, I have an A, a B, and a C, where I group sharp force injuries in terms of location on the body. There were 3 main locations that had sharp force injuries: the head, the neck, and the left hand.
So under A, does that separate out those injuries to the head?
Yes, A describes the injuries to the head. There were a total of 13 sharp force injuries. There were cutting wounds and chopping wounds to the head.
And then under B?
Under B, there were injuries to the neck, a total of 2 chopping wounds to the neck. And then C lists another 2 chopping wounds, this time to the left hand.
And then under Roman numeral 2, additional injuries?
For additional injuries, in addition to the sharp force injuries, there were blunt force injuries. So injuries due to the body coming into contact with something with a flat surface. There was a contusion or a bruise on the back of the left forearm and some bleeding under the scalp on the left side of the head.
That would be the subgaleal hemorrhage?
Yes.
Then we've got Roman numeral 3 through 6. Do those relate to your cause of death finding?
No, as part of these diagnoses, I'll list natural diseases that I find. Even though someone may have obvious injury, I may know exactly why they die, I still perform a full autopsy and document all of my findings. So they're essentially incidental natural findings.
Okay, so let's go back to your evidence of injury. And we start out with the head wounds. Would you like a photograph there?
Yes. In terms of organization, I listed the head wounds first. I start on the right side of the head, then the left side of the head, move from top to bottom. So the first injuries listed are seen in picture number 4.
This one.
I
Hey, we
hope they
publish
don't
your
show
own?
this, y'all.
Yes.
So this photo is looking at the right side of the upper forehead. Here, there are a total of 3 chopping wounds. The largest has a squared appearance. It created a skin flap with the skin can be reflected upward. And on the lateral aspect of the head, when looking at the photo, it's on your left. There are 2 additional chopping wounds at the border of that larger chopping wound. That wound injured the skin and any soft tissue underneath the skin, and then it injured the frontal bone underneath it.
Did that particular wound penetrate the skull?
No, it only injured the outer surface of the skull.
All right. Where do you want to go from there?
And the next wound that's listed is on the right side of the face, and that's seen in photo number 5. This is showing the right side of Miss Dazey's face, and there's a chopping wound on the right cheek. This chopping wound injured the skin, the soft tissue of the right cheek, and then the right side of the mandible or the jawbone.
What was the depth of that wound?
The depth of that wound was 1 5/8 inches.
Okay, what would be next?
The next wounds all were on the left side of the head, and these can be seen in photo 6.
Could you describe what your findings are there?
Here we have the top 2 larger wounds are chopping wounds. Both injured the skin, the soft tissue underneath the skin, the skull, the dura, which is a thin layer of tissue that covers the brain, and then the brain itself. That topmost chopping wound, within that wound is silver metal. That's from the decedent's previous brain surgery. The chopping wound actually fragmented that surgical material. Both resulted in fractures not only of the bone that was directly underneath the skin, but they resulted in fractures of the base of the skull. The topmost chopping wound injured part of the skull that's near the left eye, and then the lower one injured part of the skull that's near the ear canal. In between those 2 chopping wounds are 2 small cutting wounds. Cutting wounds just injured the superficial soft tissue or the skin. Below that second chopping wound is a small cutting wound on the face right in front of the left ear. Next, there were a total of, I was able to count with certainty 4 cutting wounds to the left ear. They were intersecting, but there were at least 4 cutting wounds to the left ear. And so those were all of the chopping and cutting wounds to the left side of the head.
I have left a laser pointer up there if you find that you want to point something out up here on the screen. As part of your explanation, feel free to do so.
Thank you.
Okay, so where should we move to next?
Next, I described the wounds to the neck, which are in photo 7. One of the wounds can be seen in this photo, and then this is just an extension. These are the cutting wounds of the neck, and then photo 7 shows both of them together, more on the back of the neck. So there were 2 chopping wounds to the left side of the neck, one more toward the front and one more toward the back. Those injured the soft tissue of the neck and then bones of the upper cervical spine. I did not appreciate any injury to the spinal cord itself, and those had a maximum depth of 2 inches.
What would be your next finding?
And then the next part of the body that had sharp force injury was the left hand. One of the injuries can be seen in photo 8. So this is looking at the left hand, the back of the left hand near the left thumb. Here is a curved chopping wound that created a skin flap that can be reflected upward. This injured the soft tissue of the hand and then a bone of the hand near the left thumb. Photo 9 shows the last chopping wound. This is the left hand again. So this is a chopping wound that injured 3 fingers, the index, the middle, and the ring fingers. The index finger has a pretty superficial wound by the fingernail. The middle finger was amputated as a result of the chopping wound, and the ring finger was nearly amputated as a result of the chopping wound. There's just some skin left that's connecting the finger to the hand. Injuries here included soft tissue and then bones of the fingers.
Are there any other findings that you think you need to touch on?
Those were all the sharp force injuries that I found, and then the additional blunt force injuries of the bruise of the left forearm and then some bleeding under the scalp. And those are the only injuries that I documented in my autopsy.
All right, just for a little housekeeping, I think I glossed over this, but the photo number 1. Could you describe what that is?
So when an individual is declared deceased and is going to be transported to my office for an autopsy, they're placed in a body bag. Back at the scene.
And that would be photo number 2, that photograph?
And then photo number 2.
Okay, guys, I'm going to pause here and explain something. I wish you could hear the sound, and maybe Braxton, I can figure that out. But when I take it off the screen, you cannot see or hear it. The reason I removed it, that there was personal identifying information that identity theft people can still use even though they're deceased. If it's gruesome or something I'm not comfortable showing, I will pull it. You will not hear that part of the testimony. If it's something important that's being said, I will verbally tell you. It's just for the respect of the family and the decedent.
Shows her exactly as she was received, with personal effects that include a pillow and 2 blankets.
And then photo number 3.
Photo number 3 is what we call an identification photo. Part of my job is also to confirm identity of the deceased individuals on whom I perform autopsies. We will compare them to their driver's license photos, other forms of visual ID, and then use surgical history and so on. So this is an example of an identification photo, which I compared to her driver's license photo. Her driver's license came with her to autopsy.
So once again, your cause of death was?
The cause of death was multiple sharp force injuries.
And specifically, can you identify any of those injuries that you believe were the fatal ones?
Really, you can die of any sort of sharp force injury or injury itself. In terms of the injuries that cause the most damage, especially damage to vital structures, those were the 2 chopping wounds on the left side of the head that injured the skull, the dura, the brain, and caused bleeding around the brain.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Let me show you what's been marked as Exhibit 14. Is that instrument consistent with the injuries that you viewed on Ms. Dazey?
Yes, this instrument could have caused those injuries that I documented.
And you can't say for certain as a physician that that is, but you can say it's certainly consistent with, is that right?
Correct.
And if you look at the blade of that instrument and the width, would it certainly be consistent with a blow from that instrument to take off the two inside fingers of a hand and injure the one but leave the other intact?
Yes.
The narrowness of the blade?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have anything further.
I can tell you Diane's enjoying the pace of this trial better than the last one.
Can I ask one question, Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead.
Kind of got ahead of myself.
Go ahead.
If Jennifer Dazey's blood and DNA were found on that instrument, would that increase the likelihood of that being the instrument of her death?
From an autopsy standpoint, it doesn't change anything, but from an investigative standpoint, that would make sense, yes.
Thank you. Now I have nothing further.
Cross-examination.
Likewise, if that instrument had been in her home for a significant period of time, where she had been living for a significant period of time, you wouldn't be at all surprised to find her DNA on it, would you?
Her DNA, I suppose, no.
Good morning, doctor. I apologize for, I asked the first question and now I'm going to say good morning.
Good morning.
Were you able to develop any timeline regarding the injuries?
No.
And were you able to develop a time of death?
No. For the death certificate, when it says date and time of death, it's when she was found and pronounced dead.
Okay. So you're not able to actually tell when this occurred, are you?
No.
Under your manner of death, you indicated that the manner of death was homicide?
Yes.
Now, specifically, what does that mean to you?
Homicide is a medical determination. So unlike cause, where I have many different options, manner of death, I only have 5, a homicide being one of them. And homicide to me means death at the hands of another.
Okay. So that's a medical determination, not a legal conclusion.
Correct.
All right. And there's a distinction between those two things, isn't there?
Yes.
You're not making any statement with regards to guilt or innocence or who did it or any of that, are you?
No, I am not.
Okay. I don't have anything further. Thank you.
Mr. Nelson?
In terms of timelines and time of death, you were not even asked to do that, were you?
No, that's not part of my job. I can document maybe changes that happen after someone dies, but no, that's not part of my report.
And as far as statements of guilt or who did it, you weren't asked to determine that either, were you?
No, that's not part of my job.
Thank you. I don't have anything further.
Thank you, ma'am. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Another witness for the state?
We would call Stacy Schmeiser.
Okay.
And I think this is Zoom.
My hands are full, Maud. Can you type that up for me? I got my baby. Hi's a baby. It's on my baby.
Let's do this. Let's give the jury about 5 minutes while we set this up and make sure that we can connect with the next witness. Folks, we're going to give you a real short break. Remember the admonition, 5 or 10 minutes, report back to the jury room.
All right, jury. This is the little one that almost died on me. And now she's so full of energy. She's driving me crazy. Whoa.
The two I have that I rescued in the morning, it's like, who hit your go button? And they're just like everywhere.
Well, she's a shop kitty. She stays with us at the shop. She doesn't go home with us.
Well, mine are home kitties.
But as soon as we hit the door, she's corralling us to the food bowl.
Oh, yeah. Well, mine are Cash. He's the yellow and white one. And Henrietta.
Oh, they're asking, how do you say cat in ASL? Cat.
Like the whisker.
Like the whiskers.
And this is dog. It's really D.
See, like this.
But it's like dog. You do it real fast. Dog. Or it's on your leg. Dog. Dog.
HC8 has a copy of the defendant's letter saying why you can't come to court. Oh my gosh. How do we get that? We need to get that.
What does it say?
Well, I have a portion of the letter where he says that he can't come to court because he doesn't recognize the court system, basically. He's not what you would call a sovereign nation person. It's some other delusional.
Interesting.
See, it was cute when she used to nip at you when she was little.
Now
She's getting, look at that look on her face. It's like,
that look says, I can do what I want.
I'm going to put her out. I don't want her in here unheld because she will chew and pull on wires. I was hoping the days I had off, I would be up to redoing everything like I need to do, but I didn't have the energy. Y'all, if you didn't know and you just joined, we have an announcement. Are you ready? Are you ready for the announcement?
Yeah.
Our memberships have launched. Please join us for special private lives, VIP room and Discord, and other benefits. How about them apples? I really want to thank my mods. They have all worked really hard for me. They have been amazing. Andrielle, Ms. Kevin, who is my mod boss, Miss Ronnie, Braxton, he's our tech mod. We have just really have some awesome people on today who have helped me so very much. But Miss Kevin, she's done all the hard work on getting all this mod stuff set up.
Bison.
So it's awesome. You did a wonderful job. Yeah.
Stacy, can you hear me
the
okay?
witnesses saying that
Okay. and
he's
we
not
can
in
hear
court
you.
because he has a Sabbath
There you
today.
go. I was just going to ask if you can move your screen just a little bit. Okay. We'll be with you shortly here, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
use the same setup here and just boom, boom, boom.
If they're with her, if they're in the same location.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Joe and Heidi? Are they there in the same location as you?
He's sick.
Joe is here.
He's
Heidi is
sick.
not, but I can have him grab her if you want her to come on the same.
I think with
Oh.
consecutively, so we would take your testimony first and then take one of them next and the other one right after, if that works.
Okay, do you want to do Joe next and then you want Heidi?
Yes.
Preferably you and then Joe and then Heidi.
Okay,
Is that okay?
All with the same
Yes.
setup here?
This is
Yeah,
going to
and-
be
and They can
Zoom.
just take your seat and jump right in with the same link.
okay, yes,
If that works for you, then you don't have to sign off and they sign back on a different computer.
yes, that will work fine.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll be with you in just a minute, all right?
Okay,
Oh, that's good. I like the way you think. Oh my gosh, we got another member. Oh my God, thank you so much. Yay. Welcome. I need to get a membership sound. We need to find a sound that we only play for new members. Thank you guys for joining so very much. You guys are special people. We appreciate you. Yes, Miss Diane?
Do the Superman sound or the theme for Wonder Woman.
Oh, I can't. They're copyrighted. It'll get me stricken.
All right.
I can do this.
I couldn't see that.
It's a sound.
Oh, the
It's your first ever YouTube membership? Oh, that deserves another one. Gosh, y'all are awesome. Thank you, Miss Ronnie. Oh, Miss Ronnie is also a mod. She's on today. Ronnie, I'm sorry if I forgot you. If I didn't, sorry. If I didn't, I'd shouted you out again. Oh my gosh. So this is what it's like to see all these different greens and different colors. Did y'all see our mod buttons? We have special mod button. I mean, not mod, membership buttons. I keep saying mod. And my special mod created them. Are they the ILY in the different colors? So it's the ILY in different colors. Hi, hello, y'all. So when you go, but they're not popping up. Are they supposed to, Miss Kevin? Okay, she's going to go check it out. We are going to have special emojis that our mods, our members can use that are only for you. Only you. But oh, you hate that one? No, we don't. Will not have that emoji. If someone uses that, it's on their own. It's not going to be from our side. I know. No, we're not going to use that one. Nope. Nope. We're going to pick some funny, cute ones, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, we'll be using some fun ones. Don't know what they are yet, but we'll be using some fun ones. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know, right? Why do we need to forgive you? That's right. We are streaming from Trial TV Live. They are a new streaming source on YouTube. They are fabulous. Y'all go, oh, there they are. Now they're popping up. Now, okay, they are popping up in our chat. Ooh, that's dark. What's the sign for judge? Like you're using the hammer. It would be like this. Yep. I'm up here. It'd be, you can't see my hands down here. Oh, we got a storm a coming. I hope, oh, I have a real good internet service and everything, so it shouldn't. 2 strikes of a gavel, and then this is person. So, interpreter, anything that talks about a person or their job that ends in ER, like lawyer. Now, this is teacher. Okay, I'm going to put your sound on. There you go, Miss Diane. Your sound's off. You have to unmute it. I can't. You muted it.
Yeah.
There we go. If you muted, I can't.
Okay. Mod. I just do MOD person. Mod person.
Moderator.
Yeah, moderator.
Modder.
Technical person. That would be Braxton. Let me think. Cook.
Mod boss.
Our chef. Yeah. Mod boss. I can't do that with this hand because I broke my wrist, and so it won't land on my shoulder. You know, I don't have the working. But like a customer, lawyer. What else is our You did teacher, student, learn person.
Cleaner. House cleaner.
Yeah, house cleaner. Yeah, a student, even though that's not a
You guys, we are 41 away from subscriptions, from having 2,000 subscribers. Please share, like, subscribe. If you're chatting, you've subscribed, but please subscribe and share this with people. Please, please, please. I'm begging. No, kidding. Someone told me not to beg.
I understand that. Oh, yeah.
MEI.
Okay, that was weird. Okay.
Do you please be seated, everyone?
Okay. We're back.
Ma'am, can you hear me okay?
No,
Yes.
I'm deaf.
Okay. You need to take an oath before you testify. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Can I have you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name and spell it for the record, please.
Stacy Schmeiser, STACI SCHMEISER.
Mr. Nelson, go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Schmeiser, what is your current occupation?
I am a criminalist with the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigations.
How long have you been there?
I've been here approximately 25 years.
All right. We have here an Exhibit 30, which is your CV. I can't obviously show that to you because we're Zooming, but you know your CV, I trust?
Yes.
Is that a complete and accurate representation of your qualifications and educational and work history?
Yes, it is.
I would move to admit Exhibit 30, Your Honor, by agreement.
What was her position?
Any objection? No, Your Honor. 30 is admitted.
Huh?
As part of your functions, job functions, did you receive a blood specimen from the Dubuque Police Department on or about January 30th of this year?
Yes, it was received into the
CI.
laboratory on January 31st.
Okay. From whom was that specimen taken?
The name on the specimen was Tyler
Thank you,
Dazey.
sneaky sight.
Was there an initial, well, let me go back. What exactly screening? What is your function?
In this case, I confirmed the drugs present in the urine, or I'm sorry, in the blood.
So that is part of your job. You test the blood, and what are you testing for?
We test for controlled substances in the blood.
Okay. Was there an initial screening done on that specimen before you received it?
Yes, there was.
What's the purpose of the initial screening?
The initial screening is done in the laboratory to give an idea of what additional testing it may require.
Would it be safe to say that if you had an initial screening, came up with nothing, that there would be no further testing?
Yes,
And if you come up positive on certain things on the initial screening, then it comes on to you for confirmation screening? Is
that's
that
correct.
okay? Is there anything else in terms of a description of confirmation screening in terms of what you do?
I don't understand what you're asking.
Well, I'm just saying, what exactly is confirmation screening?
A confirmation screening, we use that initial screening test results to know what type of confirmation to run, and then we confirm any drugs that showed up in the initial screening.
And you did in fact do the testing and screening, the confirmation screening?
Yes, I did the confirmation screening.
Okay, did you prepare a report indicating what your findings are?
Yes, I did.
And that would be Exhibit 31, Your Honor. I'd move to admit that.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
31 is admitted.
Could you explain to the jury here what your findings were?
Yes, I have my report that I'd like to refer to so I don't misstate any of the numbers.
You may.
I found the presence of 11 nor 9-carboxy delta 8 tetrahydrocannabinol greater than 250, which was our highest calibrator. I found the presence of delta 8 tetrahydrocannabinol at 14 nanograms per milliliter. I found the presence of 11 nor 9-carboxy delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol, concentration of 9 nanograms per mil. I confirmed delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol at 5 nanograms per mil and confirmed the presence of delta 10 tetrahydrocannabinol and hexahydrocannabinol.
Are those all isomers of THC or variants of THC?
They're isomers of THC and metabolites of THC.
So in layman's terms, basically you're saying that this person consumed THC of various sources or from various sources?
Yes.
The numbers that you found, do they indicate heavy use, light use, or can you tell that at all?
It really varies in these type of levels. In a naive user could indicate recent use, but in a chronic user, these numbers can hang around for several days.
Could you explain the variations in these isomers of THC? What exactly are they?
Well, there were 3 types of THC, the delta 8, delta 9, and delta 10. Delta 9 is the one that's been around the longest, that I think most of us are referring to when we say THC. There's a ring structure in the compound, and they've just shifted that double bond in that ring structure. So shifting it one way makes a delta 10, shifting it the other way makes a delta 8.
Who would be doing the shifting?
It does occur naturally in the plant, but in very small quantities, so it is more than likely made in a laboratory somewhere.
What would be the purpose in making those changes?
I think originally they started changing the compound to try and circumvent some of the laws. Some of those compounds have become popular because they give a slightly different effect in the high.
Would it be fair to say that some of those variants were lab created for the gummies and those sorts of things that are now being marketed?
Yes.
Did you also test for opiates, fentanyl, amphetamines, barbiturates, and other harder drugs?
That was tested for in the screening test.
And what was the results of that?
Those were negative.
So it'd be safe to say that Mr. Dazey did not consume any of those other drugs. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. I don't have anything further.
Cross-examination.
How you doing today?
Good.
Good. So, what is the differences as far as, I know you said that there can be a difference of highs, but as far as if you mix those, is there any different effect if you're mixing the different kinds of Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10?
They all have very similar effects, so it would be more of an additive effect.
Is there any dangers in mixing those?
There's no dangers per se of mixing those. There could be dangers in the amount that you would consume.
And if you know, what would those dangers be?
Someone can certainly overdose on marijuana. It isn't as dangerous as some of the other drugs, but they may have negative reaction.
Okay. Do you know what kind of negative reactions?
Just decreased mobility, decreased attention to details, changes in thoughts, mood, behavior.
Is sometimes paranoia a side effect?
Paranoia, anxiousness can be a side effect, yes.
And when they say tetrahydrocannabinol, what does that mean?
That's the compound that we're referring to as THC. It's the active component of marijuana.
And is there a difference between a blood test and a urine test?
Yes, there is.
And what is that difference?
Blood test shows what is currently in the blood. It typically has a little tighter time frame window. Urine test shows what's already been metabolized and excreted from the body.
And when you say a metabolite, what does that mean?
That's what the body breaks the compounds down in order to excrete them from the body. So we would call that a metabolite.
And are you looking for metabolites in the blood, or are you looking for something different?
We look for both metabolites and parent compounds.
No further questions.
Mr. Nelson, anything else for this witness?
Yes, you didn't find any dangerous levels in the specimen that you tested, did you?
No, I did not.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Okay, Mr. Nelson, who's the next witness going to be?
Joe Moret.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Schmeiser.
Ada.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Can you state your name and spell it for the record, please?
My name is Joseph Daniel Moret, JOSEPH DANIEL MORRETT.
Go ahead, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you. What is your current occupation?
I am a criminalist at the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation Criminalistics Laboratory.
How long have you been employed there?
A little bit over 4 years.
Did you have any work experience prior to that?
I ran the biolab at a company called Ajinomoto North America in Eddyville, Iowa.
You provided a statement of qualifications. Is that an accurate representation of your educational and work history as well as your qualifications?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I'd move to admit Exhibit 32, which is the statement of qualifications.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
32 is admitted.
While we're at it, I would ask to admit his report, Exhibit 33.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
33 is also admitted.
Could you briefly explain what it is that you do as part of your job function?
I work in the toxicology section of the lab. And in the toxicology section, we test blood and urine for the presence of drugs and alcohol.
So on January 30th or 31st of this year, did you receive a urine specimen from the Dubuque Police Department?
There was a urine specimen received by the evidence room, yes.
Okay. Do you know from whom that specimen was collected?
The sample is labeled Tyler James Dazey.
Did you test or analyze that specimen?
I did.
Was there a preliminary screening done before you got the specimen?
Yes, there was.
What was the purpose of that preliminary screen?
The preliminary screen tests for classes or categories of drugs. If there is any of those tests that reach the threshold level of a positive screen, we send it on for confirmation testing, which is a separate type. There we will look and confirm a specific drug from that class.
Did you in fact do the confirmation testing on this specimen?
I did.
Did you also do a report on your findings?
I did.
And we have labeled that Exhibit 33. Could you explain to the jury what your findings were?
I found 2 drugs in the urine specimen. They are 11-nor-9-carboxy delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol and 11-nor-9-carboxy delta 8 tetrahydrocannabinol. And these are simply breakdown products of THC that someone has consumed.
And we had a little discussion previously about different versions of THC. Could you just briefly tell me what you know about that between like the delta 9, delta 8s?
So the structure of the drug overall is very similar. The only difference between the two is the positioning of a double bond on the molecule. Everything else on the drug is exactly the same shape. And since they're so closely related, they have similar effects on a human body.
Did you also test for opiates, fentanyl, barbiturates, amphetamines, and other substances?
The screen testing did. I did not test for any of those.
So if the screen testing came back negative on those, there would be essentially nothing above the threshold on those substances. Is that correct?
Correct.
So would the bottom line conclusion be that Mr. Dazey ingested certain forms of THC, but no other hard drugs?
At a level that would create a positive screen, correct.
Okay. What would be the difference between what you did and what Mr. Claybaugh did? Both of you tested urine.
Mr. Claybaugh did what we call an expanded screen. This test for a number of drugs that the initial screen doesn't cover. A lot of these are prescription drugs and less common drugs of abuse. So he looked to analyze for those drugs, and I believe he also did not find any controlled substances.
So we do an initial screen. If there's a positive there, then it goes on to confirmation. And then from there, it may go on to somebody else for additional testing for further substances. Is that accurate?
It depends on the case. Some cases do qualify for further testing, some don't.
All right. Thank you very much. I don't have any further questions.
Cross-examination.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. When you do the test of the urine, what's the timeline? How far back can your, test read?
Our test will only determine what quantity of drugs were in the urine at the time it was collected. So whatever time the urine was collected is the moment and space that we're analyzing.
Okay. Is there any degrading of the metabolites the longer that the sample is held?
It's possible that things can degrade slowly. We keep our samples refrigerated to help minimize that loss.
And do you know how, is there a time range from when the person ingested it to where it would unlikely show on the test anymore?
That very much depends on the manner in which they ingest it. If they are an infrequent user, a urine test would probably show for anywhere from 1 to 3 days. If they're a frequent user, they can test positive for weeks afterwards, even if they're not continuously using.
No further questions.
Mr. Nelson?
Nothing further.
And who's our next witness, Mr. Nelson?
That would be Heidi Rogowski.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your name and spell it for the record, please.
Heidi, Heidi, Rogowski, Rogowski.
Go ahead, Mr. Nelson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, what is your occupation?
I currently work as a criminalist for the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation at their criminalistics laboratory in Ankeny, Iowa.
How long have you been employed there?
I started with them in March of 2022, so just under 2.5 years.
You have sent a statement of qualifications along, and I ask, is that an accurate representation of your education, training, qualifications, and work history?
Can you tell me the date on that document?
Revised June 27th of 2024.
Yes, that will be the most recent copy.
And that would be Exhibit 39. Your Honor, I'd move to admit that.
Any objection?
No objection.
39 is admitted.
You hold a master's degree in forensic science, is that correct?
Yes, I do.
They also have many hours of specialized training on prints.
Yes, I've completed over 500 hours of specialized training through external vendors in the form of specialized coursework and attending professional conferences.
Could you explain to the jury here just what it is that you do?
My job focuses on the examination of items of evidence for the presence of latent prints. So items submitted to our laboratory, I will examine them to try to see or develop latent prints on those items. Those developed impressions can then be preserved through photography or lifting. And then that development is subsequently analyzed and compared to try to attribute those impressions to a particular source.
Could you just tell me what exactly is a latent print versus a known print?
A latent print is the chance reproduction of the friction ridge skin. So on the palms of our hands and the soles of our feet, we have a specialized type of skin known as friction ridge skin. When this skin comes in contact with the surface of an item, there's the potential that an impression can be left behind. It acts similar to a rubber stamp, and then the sweat and oils located on that skin act as like an ink, leaving behind an impression. A latent print is considered a chance reproduction, and it happens naturally when the skin comes in contact with a surface just due to routine touching and handling. A known print is going to be the intentional reproduction of the friction ridge skin. These are captured under controlled conditions where the goal is to record someone's friction ridge skin. These are generally captured through physical means like inks and powders, or we can capture them digitally through a specialized device called a live scan.
What are the basic factors in the use of friction ridge skin as a means of identification?
We can use friction ridge skin as a means for identification due to the nature of friction ridge skin itself. So the features within your friction-ridged skin vary significantly within the population. So if enough of those features are present in an impression, we can reliably differentiate one individual's impressions from another. Additionally, the skin is generally stable through adolescence to middle adulthood, and that allows us to verify an individual's identity over time.
Could you briefly describe the methodology or process that you use in making comparisons?
When we develop a latent impression, we go through a process known as ACE-V. ACE-V stands for Analysis, Comparison, Evaluation, and Verification. During the analysis phase, we will assess the developed latent print to see if there are enough of those features present to move it forward to compare. If there is a lack of those features, our examination will halt and we will not proceed further. If there are enough features present, we will move on to comparison. Comparison is the process where we compare side by side the features within the latent print to the features within a known print. We look to see A, is the feature present in both impressions? B, is the sequence of all of those features in agreement as well? And then C, we look for if their spatial relationships or where they lie within the imprint are also in agreement. As that process moves forward, we transition into evaluation. This is ultimately where we arrive at a conclusion, and those conclusions generally are identification, the latent print and the known print originated from the same source. Exclusion, the latent print and the known print originated from different sources. And inconclusive, where due to one reason or another, we're not able to definitively identify or exclude the impression. The final step is verification. This is when a second trained examiner will repeat the process of analyzing the latent print, doing a comparison, and then arriving at a conclusion. If those conclusions are in agreement with one another, we will report out our findings.
On or about January 30th of this year, did you receive a hatchet from the Dubuque Police Department for testing?
Yes, I did.
Did you analyze or test that hatchet and apply the methodology you have described?
Yes.
Did you prepare a report of your findings?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, I'd move to admit Exhibit 40 at this time, which is the report.
Any objection?
No objection.
40 is admitted.
Are your conclusions set forth in your report?
Yes, they are.
What are your findings and conclusions?
Based on my examination of the hatchet, I was able to develop one latent palm print that was suitable for comparison. That developed latent palm print was searched through the Iowa Automated Biometric Identification System. And as a result of that search, it was identified to Tyler Dazey.
Where was that latent palm print located on the hatchet?
That palm print was developed on the handle of the hatchet.
Northwest, right?
The end, or is it somewhere closer to the head? Where about on the...
I would have to see the item. There should be markings indicating where that impression was developed.
Well, parts of it was
what would the
smooth, parts of it
markings
was
show?
not.
We indicate developed latent prints with an indicator, so it would be the item number and a letter, and then you'll be looking for a bracket, and that indicates source and orientation.
Oh yeah, Braxton. If
All
you
right,
get
thank you very much. I
processed
don't
through
have
the
any
jail
further
system, they take
questions.
the palm, the whole hand.
Cross-examination.
What substances was the print made from? Was that from oil and or sweat from the skin?
The techniques that I used to develop the latent print would react with the regular components of latent print residue. So that would be sweat, oils, things of that matter.
Okay. I guess what I'm trying to get at was this print wasn't left in blood, was it?
The techniques that I use do not generally react with blood. So this impression in particular, I would say it was not in blood.
Okay. Were you able to determine when the print was left on the hatchet?
No, there is no way currently to date when a latent print was deposited on an item.
Are you able to tell how old
I know, right?
a latent print is?
No, because we're not able to date when it was placed on an item.
Okay. I wanted to explain for those of you who've never been arrested, they don't take just fingerprints anymore. They take the entire hand. They take the outer part of the hand, the inner part here, all fingers, fingertips, finger rolls, the entire part. They will roll from the outside like this. They get as much of your hand they can actually get. So it's no more just fingerprints, just FYI. And when I go get fingerprinted for what I have to do for my security clearances, it's a lot of printing. It's not just fingerprints.
Okay. And how long can a latent print last?
Depending
Wow,
on
it's
the
pouring
conditions
outside.
and how the item is handled, they can last for basically an indefinite period of time. So it varies, but I wouldn't be able to give you an accurate timeline.
Now, if somebody leaves a latent palm print on an object, and then somebody else comes along and touches that same area and say uses that device.
It is a scanner. There's no ink
What would you
involved.
expect to see? What effect would that have on the print?
It depends on several factors. So if the second individual was wearing gloves, only the first impression would be left behind. If the touches overlapped, we could have what would be considered a composite. So you could have multiple impressions sitting on top of one another. And how the item was handled potentially has the ability to destroy impressions that were previously there.
Okay. You'd call those smudges, wouldn't you?
Smudges can happen during first contact, second contact, but yes, that would be a smearing of the impression.
Okay. Were portions of this palm print readable and other portions were not readable?
Yes.
Okay. In other words, parts of the print were smudged.
Yes, that is common of most latent prints.
And as I understand it, from what you just said, that could indicate movement at the time that the print was deposited, right?
Not
Yes.
this. Just
Or it could
from here
indicate
up.
that somebody else used the device or touched the device after the print was deposited.
Yes, I wouldn't be able to determine if it was a result of the initial touch or subsequent handling.
Okay. And just so we're clear, you actually had the hatchet there in your hands, didn't you, when you tested it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So would you agree with me that there's, if somebody owns that hatchet and they own it for a period of time and they have it in their house, I don't know exactly what you do with an SOG hatchet, but I'm assuming it's either a hunting or a wood cutting device or something to that effect. But in any event, it wouldn't be at all surprising to find their palm print on their own hatchet, would it?
No, it wouldn't. If it belongs to a given individual, it would not be surprising to find their prints on that item.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Nelson, anything else for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. If this hatchet was scrubbed or washed in a shower, would you expect the latent prints to be destroyed?
Potentially, water and scrubbing has the ability to wash away or destroy latent impressions. Not having kind of more information, I wouldn't be able to say definitively if there would be no impressions at all.
Would it be more likely that these impressions were placed on the hatchet after the shower as opposed to before, based on your observations of them?
I wouldn't be able to make that determination.
But potentially the shower would wash away latent prints?
There is the potential, yes.
All right, thank you. Nothing further.
Mr. Blair?
Did you see anything on the hatchet which would indicate that that hatchet was cleaned or showered?
The appearance of the ridges had a beading-like appearance in some areas, which would indicate that the residue was potentially extra wet at the time that the latent print was deposited. So I wouldn't count it out that the hatchet could have been wet at the time the latent print was deposited.
Could that also be from sweat?
Yes.
So if somebody touches it when they're very sweaty, that could produce the same thing.
Yes, it'll give the same appearance whether the item is wet at the time of contact or whether the hands are wet at the time of contact.
Nothing further.
Nothing
You
further,
guys,
Your Honor.
before they come back,
Mr.
y'all
Nelson, are we
get
all
shout
finished
out
with
and
the
love
folks
our
from the Yankee
interpreter.
Lab?
Buy her a cup of coffee.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
This link
You
is
guys
for
can
her.
disconnect.
So I can
Thank you.
bless her with coffee. She is volunteering her time. So love on her, y'all. Throw this woman some love.
Do we have another witness for the state?
Yes, we have Gage Claybaugh, and that we've done by Zoom, and we've recorded it because he is off in Europe somewhere today. So we would just play that by agreement.
Okay. Do you want to identify for the record, was his testimony taken under oath on a previous date?
Yes, it was an evidentiary deposition.
And is the date identified in the deposition?
If
not, why don't you place that in the record about when the testimony was given?
That would be July 11th, Judge.
Of 2024. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have that queued up?
I have it ready to go.
Yeah, I know, right? For those of you who are new to us, Diane is a 30-year interpreter. She's a dear friend. I have worked with her in the past at conferences, and she is so kind when she doesn't have another job to interpret at no cost to us. So we want to bless her. So please reach out and bless her. The link is buymeacoffee.com/AdaKay, and that will bless her. So please, please, please bless her. Was it Claybar? What was the last name? Claybar? I guess we'll figure it out. Why is it paused? It shouldn't be paused. Why are we frozen? Let me refresh.
No, they're queuing the Zoom for the next person.
Yeah, but the judge is frozen.
Oh, then I don't know. They broke the thermostat.
Okay, they're frozen on the other side too. So they're frozen on both sides. Okay. Oh, Braxton, thank you. You're a member. Oh my God, you're awesome, Braxton. Thank you.
What testing did you do? I did our targeted case meets a certain criteria.
I'm just going to have to
So
this.
that criteria would be sex assaults, death investigations, or if it's requested by the officer. And it looks at different prescription drugs and some miscellaneous drugs.
I'm going to guess.
This list that we have that I've marked as Exhibit 35A with a whole lot of different compounds on it, would that be the compounds that you test for?
Yes.
And what were your findings after doing the testing?
My testing was negative. So of the compounds on that list, I did not find any positives.
Was there a positive for marijuana metabolites? Or do you
Not
not?
on this. I did not test for that.
Is that a separate test from someone else at the lab?
Correct. It is a separate test.
And then you did a report concerning your findings, is that correct?
Yep.
And Exhibit 35, would that be the report that you did?
I believe so, yes.
And the report essentially says that you found nothing, is that right?
Yes.
It says, your report says no additional controlled substance. What's the significance of the word additional?
Yeah, so at this time we had separate reports. So we would do the initial screening and confirmational testing on one report, and then the targeted screen, which is what I did. We would do that on a separate report. So if the other analysts found, had a positive test, then on my report, if I didn't find anything, we would write no additional controlled substances.
So when you do the testing, there's a
Me no know what happened.
the fact that
There it
you
is.
said a negative finding doesn't necessarily mean that a person was not taking the drug, does it?
No, so my negative screen just means that no drugs past that threshold is what that
We
means.
had a
So,
huge lightning
So
strike
someone could have
right
been taking a
outside.
prescription
Sorry, guys.
drug at some level and been below that threshold is what I'm getting at. Is that right?
Yeah, we had it. It was a.
potentially, yes.
Yes.
I have a camera on the front of the store so I can see the parking lot, and it's flooding out in the parking lot. And we had a. It was so close, it just went totally white. I apologize. We're back.
I don't have any further questions. Mr. Hoover,
Yeah.
just a minute.
Okay. So, Mr. Claybaugh, just so I make sure I'm understanding correctly, what you're saying is, as far as the test, did you not retest for any substance that was found positive, or it just when you retested it didn't meet the threshold?
Do you mind rephrasing that? Like, do you mean, yeah, would you?
Yeah, sure. So if I understand correctly, there was an initial test done, correct?
Correct, yep.
And it showed positive for some substances. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so when you did the targeted testing,
Yep.
Did you not test for those substances that had already been found?
Correct. Yes. So the substances that I tested for are all on that list. All of the ones on that list. There might be, I can't exactly remember if there's some similarities with the testing. There might be a couple drugs that are similar. But of the ones that were positive and sent on for this, I don't believe.
Could y'all hear that?
That were the same. It was.
I felt it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the end. I don't believe there were any what?
I'm not sure. Do you want me to? I can just kind of rephrase. I don't remember exactly what I said.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Yeah. So I was just saying. There might be some. I can't remember exactly if there are any of the same drugs on the confirmation test with the general. There might be a few, and of the ones that were positive on that confirmational test, I don't believe any of those were uh, are on the targeted screen at all.
Okay. So, for example, if marijuana or some derivative of marijuana was on the previous test, you wouldn't have necessarily tested it on the targeted test, correct?
Correct.
And looking through that list, the THC is not on that list, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
I don't have anything further. Thank you very much, Mr. Clayball. We are finished for the day.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Do we have another witness for the state?
We do, however, she will not be here till 11.
Okay.
And as a matter of housekeeping,
I assume no objection?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, for the record, 34, 35, and 35A are all admitted. Folks, good news, two things. We're ahead of schedule and you get a nice break now. Our next witness is scheduled to be here at 11. So you folks have about a half an hour. Use that time however you'd like. You can go for a walk. You can go home if you live close enough, as long as you're back by 11 o'clock. Remember the admonition, keep an open mind about everything. Don't draw any conclusions of any kind. Make sure you report back to the jury room.
All rise for the jury.
I never known a jury to drive home in the middle of the day. I thought they had to stay at the courthouse. Diane, do you want to take a break? I'll take you off screen. OMG, y'all. I've never seen that. He is a good judge. I'm really liking him. Small town, I know, right? I live in a small town. I live close enough to the courthouse that takes me 3 minutes to get there on a bad day. My gosh, that thunder was right there. That lightning is right here. I can't hear it. I feel it, which I think is worse when I can feel the thunder, but I can't hear it. I just feel a thud. It's like, not liking that. Not liking the way that feels. That don't feel too good. So what do y'all think? Comments. All right, Mr. Braxton. I need my partner in crime. Yeah. I thought the same thing, Braxton. Do you know what you need to do? Find it for me in Amazon. Send it to me in Discord. Put it on the list. Good place to go. You don't need to know what I'm eating. Oh, later is fine. You don't have to do it now. Oh, please, old lady, don't trip and fall. There goes the fire trucks. Let me turn on my fire radio. I can see the entire parking lot, and there are different businesses here. It's like a L-shaped little strip center. Right next door is a beauty salon. And then at the opposite end of the L, because we're on the long end, on the short end is a hamburger place. And there's a lot of old people that come in and they fall. We have an ambulance there once a month. Once a month, we have an ambulance show up because somebody fell. Okay. What are you guys thinking about this case? Obviously, he had some things in his system. Alternative medicine. Oh, I'm 2 hours in. Okay. He had some Delta and HTC in his system. Some people were like, I don't understand. What's the difference? What's legal? What's not? So, Delta 8, it naturally occurs chemical compound called a cannabinoid that's found in traces of hemp and cannabis or marijuana plants. Okay. It is legal because of one molecule. It makes it legal. Now that may change. So it depends from state to state, which is legal, which is not. Delta 8 is. However, I think one of them is not. Let's see. Delta 8, 9 are from both forms of the THC. So it depends on the state which Delta is legal, which is not. So depending on the state, depending on where you live, depends on which is which. But it was either inhaled. So now they even have I need help. I can't think of the word and I'm thinking about it. The pins that you puff on. I don't smoke. But vapes. That's it. Vapes. So they can have it in a vape form. They can have it in a smoke form, liquid form, edible form, a lot of forms. But vapes and gummies are the two forms that most people do it. CBD is the entirely legal one that has no intoxication. Yep. And that reminds me, while we're doing this, I need to put this up. Sorry, that's my fire radio. So something got struck and it's on fire. So they even have kratom vapes now. They have kratom vapes. Yep. Delta 10 is also legal. So 8 and 10 is legal. 9 is not, I believe. I could be wrong. But what's legal in their state? I have a funny story. Now that we're 2 hours in, I can tell it. Not funny at the time. My son has a kratom shop, and I have an office. And it is legal, okay. And I've taken kratom gummies for arthritis. Works good. And well, a company sent us some Delta product samples. We don't sell anything but kratom, just kratom. We don't sell anything else. And it'd been sitting on my desk for a while in a package because they send the sample pack. And I had a friend come in that uses it. And they had some Delta gummies. And I wasn't sure if it was still good. So we opened the bottle. I took one out and squeezed it. It was still nice and soft. So I didn't put it back in the bottle because I touched it. So I set it in the same tray where I have my kratom gummies. And later that day, I was just working. I was really, I needed it. I was not feeling the best. And I just reached and took it, didn't think anything of it. Didn't feel anything. 2 hours later, I'm in a restaurant with some friends and my son. I found out the hard way I'm allergic to it. I'm allergic to THC. So I started getting really, everything was spinning. I was nauseated. I mean, I was crashing quick. So I told my friend, I'm not feeling good. This is not good. I didn't know at the time what was going on. So I went in to the bathroom. 15, 20 minutes later, she comes in. I called her. I need you. This is not good. I'm crashing. Now she is a trained EMT. So she comes in. I'm in the emergency stall. I wanted to get sick on both ends. Nothing was happening. I was praying something would happen. I all of a sudden couldn't move my arms very well, couldn't control them. I couldn't talk. It was very broken. And my head, I could feel my pressure was up. I was so sick. It was not funny at the time. So we ended up calling 911. We get in the ambulance and they asked me if I'd taken any meds or anything. And I told them that I had taken a kratom gummy, which I'd taken many, many, many times before. And then all of a sudden I went, oh crap. This could be a Delta gummy. They laughed at me and I was crying. I was scared to death. I thought I was having a stroke, literally thought I was having a stroke. And I said, why are you laughing at me? And they go, we all have taken it just to see what it was like. Because, okay, fine. But anyway, they get me into the ER room. The doc comes in. I'm crying. I'm freaking out. I can't really communicate well. I'm deaf. I couldn't move my arms right. So my son comes in and sits down and I said, go ahead and tell him, doctor. I didn't want anyone to tell him at first. And he goes, your mom ate a Delta, I think it was 8 or 9, I don't know what it was, gummy. And my son kind of goes, so you're telling me she's high? And he goes, no, she didn't even get the pleasure. She's allergic. So they gave me the thing to counteract it. A couple of weeks later, I followed up with a neurologist because I was having some issues. Come to find out, I had a mini stroke. My blood pressure was so high. I had a mini stroke. I'm allergic to THC. This chick can't have THC in any form. Hard way to find out, right? Now I can laugh at it. I wasn't laughing back then. Okay, y'all. Our interpreter's not here. Let me say this. You guys, love on our interpreter day, please. Please love on our interpreter. Buy her a cup of coffee if you feel inclined to do anything today. We have launched our memberships, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much. That was so scary. I remember sitting in the stall and I was praying, okay, God, I, I, I don't want to go. My kids are grown, but not grown enough. I haven't seen grandkids. And I told my friend, if something goes really bad, tell my kids I love them and I'm proud of them. Yep. The doc was funny. I found out that they have at least once a day somebody comes in with an accidental exposure. People don't realize, you never know until you try anything for the first time if you're going to have a bad reaction. So, yeah. I was like, this isn't being high. And the room was spinning. But what really got bad was I couldn't really speak well for a while. I mean, after DMS got there and they figured out what was going on, they immediately counteracting it. But yeah. Yeah, that was terrified to listen to. It was never want that experience again. And I know kind of what a stroke is like now. I don't want a full one. That would be a freaking nightmare. Oh, this is a nice storm front that came through. I'm sorry, did I traumatize you guys? Do I need to put the trigger warning up? I didn't mean to traumatize anybody. I'm just filling in time. So, yeah, y'all. Yeah. I mean, I have never been hauled out of a bathroom in a restaurant before. That was embarrassing. It was. And that's why we went to the neurologist. And I still have some memory recalling, sometimes can get a little hard. Yeah, I have. I don't know what caused his stroke, but y'all, strokes are horrible. They're scary. Not being in control, not being able to talk, not being able to control your hands. Mortifying. Mortifying. If that's what it's like, I don't want, of course, no one wants a stroke, but that was scary enough for me, and it was mild. But I do still have issues with some of the memory recall. Working too freaking hard? What do you mean? You know what, Braxton? I never thought. I mean, I thought of it, but I didn't think I need to get lightning protection. Oh, well, he was working too hard. Oh, he's a lawyer. I didn't realize that. Well, Hogue from Hogue Law. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I got to take care of your body while I eat a donut hole. There's nothing here to eat. I think I need to start meal prepping my breakfast because when I go live, I don't have time. And I sit here 8 hours a day sometimes, 12 hours. There was one day I did 12 hours. Miss Diane is getting her food. I can see in the background. So I'll let her eat and enjoy her food. Yeah, coffee and more coffee. Yeah, it takes time to recover. And sometimes you don't fully 100% recover. And that's why it kind of scares me because I'm adopted. So I don't know if there's Alzheimer's or if I know some things like cancer and some things, but I don't know everything. I did meet my birth parents, but I don't know everything. And so I'm just always scared of Alzheimer's. And I do have, ever since that little mini stroke I do have recall issues where I used to be like this and now it's a little different. So that's why if I get stuck and can't find a word, it does not offend me if y'all throw it in the comments if you know what I'm going for. Have no problems. You can't find another sock? I was adopted, Natasha, with my twin brother, and we were adopted at the age of 4.5. So I spent from the age of 7 months to 4.5 between orphanage, foster homes, not so good situations. I will tell you the first few years of my life were horrifying. And then the last foster home was fabulous, fabulous one. And then we were adopted. Braxton, that's why when you wash your clothes, you put them all together. You pair them. Sorry. I'm going to mute y'all so I can hear the call. We have a house fire. I need to call out my chaplain. Since I'm live with y'all, I'm not going to go. My chaplain can go for me. So please be patient. Come on, get on the charger. You're not charging, is it unplugged? I'm texting him right now. Yeah. Miss Kevin, that's called being a mom. Y'all pray for this family. There's a house on fire. Okay, just sent my chaplain. I am an emergency services chaplain volunteer. It is a ministry that was handed down to me. And we are chaplains who go to major accident scenes, house fires, anything that would be needed. Internet is on the blink with the storms. Yeah, our storm just passed us. So we're done. Like as of 10 minutes or less ago. I'm watching the radar. So we're done. Howdy, everyone. Hi, Zach. Guess what? Guess what, Zach? Are y'all ready? Are you ready, Zach? I want to show you something, Zach. Here we go. Cindy, hello, everybody. We launched our memberships today. Woohoo! So we have launched memberships, and I am so happy for it. Our fabulous mods have worked hard. Our mod boss, everybody has been a wonderful support. Good morning, Miss Karen, but not Karen. I am so excited. It has been a fabulous journey and a huge blessing. Also, we have our fabulous interpreter resting in the background. Y'all, please hop on to Buy Me Coffee. I'll put the link up, though. It is up there. And bless her today, please. She is volunteering her time, so I'd like to send her a blessing. We call it a love gift. So let's love on her today. And there goes the fire trucks. Yeah, the fire's not too far from here. I couldn't hear the whole street, but yeah, it's not too far from here. I hope this finds everybody well. Oh, hey, neighbor. Fishing. You know what, Zach? I have not been fishing in a long time, and I miss it. I don't do sea, but I do everything but ocean. Are you going to go again? Nope. It's fully engulfed structure. You guys, please be prayer. Prayer for the volunteer fire department that is going to help the actual paid department. We have a lot of volunteer departments around us, and we do partner with the city department. So you guys may be hearing in the background a lot of fire, police, EMS going. Pray for my chaplain as he goes and helps them. So pray for everybody. We haven't had we don't have a whole lot of structure fires, actually. I think this was started by that lightning. Remember that lightning strike that we had that kind of sent me out for a minute? Yep. I'm on the edge of town. If you guys know, if you know where Turtle Creek area is, so it's going to be going out, not Bandera, but 16. It's not in the city itself, but it's just outside. Welcome, welcome, everybody.
Hello. I just did something wonderful.
What'd you do?
Remember I told you I had tilapia the other night?
Yeah.
I had 2 pieces left. I put one of them in the microwave and heated it up. I used my keto bread, tomato from my garden, some fresh lettuce, and just about a quarter of the mayonnaise I'd normally use because I like Miracle Whip. And I toasted my bread, and I had a tilapia sandwich, and it was good. Very surprised. I was like, well, I really need to eat this, but I don't know how this sandwich will be, but surprise.
That sounds fabulous.
It was good. So I have found another way to do it. Oh, by the way, you could come here and go fishing, AdaKay.
I know.
I'm really
Did you set up Buy Me Coffee?
No, I looked at it again this morning, and I'm like, I gotta walk through this with AdaKay.
You need my help?
Well,
okay, we'll set it up. In the meantime, they can donate to this one, and I'll send it to you.
All right. I ain't going nowhere.
And that'll be something you can do at a glow. If somebody wants to tip you, you can tell them go here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody's calling me from Ada, Oklahoma.
Oh, good.
Spam call. Spam call. Spam. I feel bad for the company Spam. They already had a negative reputation for the Spam meat. Either you love it or you hate it. Most people hate it.
I hate Spam.
And then they name calls you don't want Spam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they actually left a voicemail. Nope. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
What?
Oh, just take a deep breath. Just kind of.
Yeah.
I'm going to play some music in the background. Very soft. I have all this cool, relaxing, and nice music, and it is copyright free, royalty free, but if I play it on the live, I can't monetize. I don't get it. Our beaches in Texas are horrible. Ugh. They're dirty. The sand is gray, dingy gray. A lot of seaweed mixed with oil. Not anything that. I'm sorry?
When Margie and I walked the beach here, when we first moved here, it was November, December. Wore a jacket and a coat. Haven't been out there since it's been summer. What?
Yeah. I've been to the beach in Pensacola, Florida once. Pretty sand. I was in Fort Lauderdale for a conference. Never went to the beach. All right, Miss C. Morales, thank you so much. Thank you for being a very precious and valued member, and we will see you later. Where does Diana live? South Carolina. South Carolina. Oh, you called my burner phone. I'm sorry. Call me back, my love. I didn't know it was you. I didn't know it was you. Call back. Did you want to be on air? I got to plug you in. Do you want to be on air, Miss Cindy? Call me back. Didn't know. No, she's not that far from RA. Cindy, call me back. Were you from Phoenix or Ada, Oklahoma? I'll call you. I guess you're from the Phoenix. I'll give it a try. I'm going to put you on speaker, babe.
Hello, you've reached Quick Relief Hardship Department. Thanks for returning our call.
Nope, that ain't her. That was spam. Hey, do you want to be on the call online? Hey, is this Cindy RN?
This is Cindy RN. How are you?
I'm good. Do you want to be on live or do you want me to talk private?
No, I'll be online. I just wanted to say hi to everybody.
Okay, let me see if I can get you online. Let me see how that works. Let's see. Can you talk? See if we can hear you.
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Can y'all
My
hear
good
her?
Southern drawl.
I'm sorry.
My good Southern drawl. Said my good Southern drawl.
This Southern girl.
My good Southern drawl.
Oh, I know. I talk like that too when I'm in that neck of the woods. So
My
what's
good
up?
Southern Okie draw. Nothing. I just wanted to say hi and congratulations on your membership.
Oh, thank you so very much. I appreciate you and appreciate everybody so much.
And congratulations on being famous.
Well, we are ecstatic. Grew a little faster than I even anticipated. In fact, like I said, I didn't anticipate doing this. It was totally different reason why I did this, but God has a plan.
Yeah, yes, he does. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
No, I just wanted to say, this is great. I'm glad you're doing this. And you talk about being a chaplain, and I'm chaplain also for state auxiliary for our police departments.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just really neat. I'm just excited for you. So I just wanted to tell you that and just go on. I just wanted to let everybody know I have a voice. So and I
what
love
do
you
you
guys.
think of this trial?
Oh, I don't know. I've really not been following it very close because I've been sick. I take these RA treatments and they really make me kind of goofy after I'm kind of out of it. So
Are you talking about the infusions?
Yes.
Oh, I know.
They make me sick as a dog afterwards. I get these like really bad reactions. And so it takes me a few days to come out of them. So
Well, I am doing everything I can to stay away from that, but that's my next step.
Yeah.
My mother is on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely understand. I have rheumatoid arthritis. Spent 6 years in a wheelchair. Miss Diane met me when I was in the wheelchair.
Well, I'm trying to stay out of the wheelchair, but my body's heading that way. So I was an RN for 25 years, worked trauma, had 12 spinal surgeries, and kept going. And so I'm tough. I just keep trying. You know, I had to retire when I was 50.
Braxton said my skin crawls when I get them.
Oh yeah. He's getting the treatments too. Braxton is. He's young.
Braxton, are you getting them too? Well, I'm I was told by my doctor, see, I've been in the wheelchair. There was time I couldn't walk. Oh, wrong thing. Okay, gotcha. But my doctor prescribed me a new wheelchair and said, when you have an RA flare up in your hips, I want you in it, period. Trying to preserve and cause the least amount of damage. And people don't realize when we're having a flare up in a joint and you're using that joint, from what I understand, makes it worse.
Yeah, it does. It puts a lot of pressure on it. I need my hips replaced, and I have a torn labrum in my hip, and I can't have it replaced because my bones are too brittle, and there's nothing to connect to there's nothing to repair it. My bones are so brittle, you can't repair anything. So I'm trying to get that fixed.
Aging is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not. I mean, it started early with me, the osteoporosis and stuff. Because I smoked. I was an RN. Every nurse smoked. That's bad. If you smoke, quit.
Yeah.
Which, I vape still, but I shouldn't. But
thank you for being a chaplain. You have an idea what I do. And
go around. Yeah, I do. Yes. It's a thankless job. It is a very thankless job.
Nobody thanks you.
But it's rewarding.
It's kind of funny.
Rewarding.
They thank you for coming and telling them their loved one dies, but they don't mean it.
No. Yeah. I mean, they don't remember. I mean, it's really hard. It's a hard job, because you can't really explain it to people.
No.
They really don't remember you being there because it is, it's such a traumatic experience that they're going through at the time.
Someone was there, but they couldn't identify you.
Right.
So
anyway. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you talking to me. I just wanted to say hi and tell everybody else, thank you for supporting it. And I can't wait to see you just take off and do what you're doing and helping the hearing, impaired community. And it's great what you do. So,
well, I couldn't do it without Miss Diane. I mean, I could, but it's miserable.
Miss Diana. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Yeah. That is just awesome.
She
watching you on lawn lumber the other night, and they were all so impressed. I was so impressed, but watching them watch you, it was so fascinating because they were looking up and watching you keep up with them, and it was just something. It was really neat to see that.
You don't know, but they put it up. They upped the speed. So everyone was talking about like this fast, and several of the mods said, "Slow down. She's interpreting you."
Right.
That reminds me, I need to get a hold of their mods today and see if I can do it. If Miss Diane would be up to doing it tomorrow night.
What did you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
It starts at 9:30 your time and goes to 2 a.m.
What is it?
Oh my goodness.
It's live with two other people who are lawyers, and they go through the week and talk about everything that's happened.
Sure.
Yeah. Better get your rest.
Well, let's see if I can get it set up.
That the other night. Yeah. Well, I will let you go and let somebody else call if they want to. I just wanted to say hi.
Back. Perfect timing.
All right.
Thanks,
love. Thanks. Bye.
Wow, I love it when we get call-ins, but I appreciate her so much. If you want to call in and you have my number, and we do post it when I am available, please text so I know that you are calling in. If my number is not running on the screen, I won't know to answer. If my number's on the screen, I'll answer because I'm ready for it. But anybody can call in if they want. And if I know you're calling, just say, "Hey, gonna call you." That way I don't ignore your phone call. Right, Miss Diane?
Right.
Okay, Braxton said, "I need to get in the car and drive. So yell at me if if I'm in chat. You don't want me to yell at you, honey doll.
She can yell really loud.
I'm deaf. I have no idea how loud I am. Somebody said something about, can you hear this? And I went, I'm deaf. No.
I have a good friend that has a shirt. It's got a bunny rabbit on it. And that bunny rabbit has got his paws covering its ears. And it says, I'm not deaf. I'm ignoring you. And she's as deaf as a doornail. Yep. She's a sweetie.
Wow. I take a medicine every morning. It's my RA meds. And some days I'm fine, but some days it just upsets my stomach. And if I don't keep something in my stomach, it gets worse.
Oh, I know that feeling.
So they are waiting on the witness. It's 11:06. Are they waiting on the jury? That's a risk you do when you send a jury out and you say, you can go home if you want. You just got to be back. And then they go, oh, flat tire, battery dead. I've never known a judge to allow a jury to leave in the middle of the day. Miss Kevin, doing well, thanks. Going back in August 3rd to clean out the rest of the fish. Yeah, cleaning fish is work.
Yes, it is.
My grandfather had 3 catfish tanks on their ranch. And we would seine those twice a year. And I always got stuck in the gut house. And Grandma and I were cleaning thousands of fish in a day.
Oh, yeah.
That woman was fast, man. She'd get 3 done by the time I got 1. By the time that part of my life ended, I got pretty good. I don't eat catfish.
I do if they're grain fed.
Well, and the thing was, is the females sometimes had eggs a lot of times. And I mean, we put them in a bucket and put them in the water, but it was just, it's like taking Bambi's mama. I was like, oh, don't want to do that. It's not fun. Not fun. So if you were just joining, Young Thug's judge that got assigned to his case 3 days ago has already removed himself. Yep, already. I'm like, seriously? Already? You're gone that fast? Okay, here we go again. Musk threatens to pull Twitter, SpaceX out of California. Oh, man. People with that much money make threats like that. It just ticks me off. You're welcome. Anytime, love. Anytime. I'm just reading the news, waiting, see if we have anything. The U.S. gymnastics team unboxed their leotards. They are quite cool, actually. The U.S. Anybody here ready for the Olympics? I don't know if I can stream the Olympics. I want to, but I don't know if I can. I want to do at least the gymnastics portion.
I like the gymnastics and the ice skating.
Yeah. But I used to be a gymnast. I can commentate on that. I can't commentate very much on the ice skating.
Oh, my daughter was fantastic as a gymnast. She'd take all the ribbons. She was like, it's like watching water.
Mm-hmm. There's some heat hopping in on the NASCAR circuit, if you're interested in that. Dale Earnhardt sends advice to Bubba Wallace following a NASCAR fine. Bubba Wallace purposefully bumped the back end of a bush, which sent him into the wall and out of the race. And it was a nasty, nasty. They've had a thing going back and forth, and it got nasty. So I'm just searching for news. I wanted to just kind of see what's going on out there.
I dropped my pen. I walked it.
We have a lot of political news, but I ain't going there. Oh, let's see. Oh, they say that royal fans think that Princess Charlotte and King Charles have a matching friendship bracelets. Oh, isn't that sweet? That's sweet. Nothing like the love of a grandfather, let me tell you. I love my grandpa. A part of me was crushed when he and Grandma died together in a motor vehicle accident. I was trying to find that Young Thug stuff, but it's not there. I'm not watching that trial at all. I mean, Braxton, Olympics is a no-go. I thought if we commentated, we could do it. Seriously? We can't if we're talking about it? Or do they have copyright infringements all over it? If I seem to recall, last time people were slapping stuff up. No way to do the Olympics? Aww. Officer shot in Almo Gordo, New Mexico by suspect who they have shot before? What? Okay, I gotta look this up. I've got to find a way to look this up. Let me come down here. What? Judge is back, but no jury. New Mexico State Police say that an Almo Gordo police officer is in stable but critical condition after the police say he was shot during a foot pursuit that began with an attempted traffic stop earlier Saturday. Police say that one man has been arrested and charged in the incident. Dude, that's horrible. Let's see what it says. I hate all these ads that pop up. 41-year-old Anthony Ferguson, 11-year-old veteran of the Almo Gordo Police Department, was airlifted to the trauma center, critical condition. He died late Sunday. 26-year-old Dominic Deloa of Almogrado was charged with attempt to commit first-degree murder, aggressive battery on a police officer with deadly weapon. He's being held in the jail, so that may be a trial we follow. His charges will be upgraded since Mr. Ferguson passed. Sympathies to the family. My deepest sympathies. The defendant was arrested, no bond warrant in any other pending drug cases. Oh, what is this world coming to?
An end.
An
end.
I guess that may be true. Yeah, I've been sitting here watching. They're nothing. I'm going to look on YouTube. Okay, so judge recused in the YSL trial. Let's see who's the next one. Man, that trial is going to be, isn't it already one of the longest trials in U.S. history? Anybody know?
Nope.
I mean, what has it been? 11 months now? Oh man, this lady's following the Black Swan trial, and I downloaded the same exact image that she is using for her cover thumbnail, but I didn't use it. Speaking of, I might as well just show y'all. Let's see if I can load it in. We'll put it here. The Black Swan trial. I am studying up on that a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. What do y'all think about this? Where did it go? It's downloading. What do y'all think about that? See the swan at the bottom? Oh, let me stop the ticker.
I see it.
What do y'all think about that?
What happened?
What do you mean?
What's the story?
They met 13 days later. They married. She got pregnant. They ended up separating, getting ready to go through a divorce. And they're back on the camera's back on the ceiling. They're coming in. The baby was born. They had dispute over custodialship. She killed him.
She killed
allegedly.
him. Allegedly. Well, that ain't gonna do the baby any good now, is it?
Nope. So anyway.
Karaoke, karaoke.
I
said it was karaoke.
Okay, y'all. We will cut the live at lunch, and then I'll start a second live.
Please be seated, everyone. Okay, a witness for the state, please.
State would call Tara Scott.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead and have a seat there.
The county clerk's not swearing him in, and the judge
State your name
stands.
and spell it for the record, please.
Tara, Tara, Scott, Scott.
Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. What is your present occupation?
I am a criminalist in the DNA section at the Iowa DCI Crime Lab in Ankeny, Iowa.
How long have you been there?
I've been in this position since October of 2007.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
So you have been marked as State's Exhibit 36. Can you tell me what that document is?
This is my SOQ, or Statement of Qualifications.
Is that a complete and accurate representation of your education, training, and work experience?
Yes.
I'd move to admit Exhibit 36.
Any objection?
No objection.
36 is admitted.
Could you explain just what it is that you do at the laboratory?
So in the DNA casework section, we get evidence that is submitted by police agencies throughout the state. We look at that. We determine if we need to do any screening for body fluids, take samples for DNA, develop DNA profiles, and then compare those to any known DNA profiles that are submitted in that case, write a report to our findings, and then testify if necessary.
Could you explain to the jury just exactly what DNA is?
DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It is the unit of heredity that is in all cells that have a nucleus in your body. You inherit half your DNA from your mother, half your DNA from your father, and it is shown to be unique except in the case of identical twins.
Where is DNA found?
It is in the nucleus. The nuclear DNA that I test is found in the nucleus of the cells. So it's in blood, seminal fluid, saliva, skin.
How do you examine items for DNA?
Depending on the item and what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for a body fluid, I will do first a visual exam in natural light. If I can't see anything with that, we have alternate light sources that we can use to try to visualize DNA. And then we do a screening test, if applicable, and take a sample from it.
How do you process DNA?
So the cutting that we take, or sample that we take, it goes into a tube, and then we do what's called an extraction, which gets the DNA out of the cells and into a solution. From that, we do what's called a quant that estimates the amount of DNA in the sample. And from that, we perform what's called an amplification that copies that DNA. And then we use a 3500 genetic analyzer to visualize that DNA profile.
What areas of DNA do you test?
There are 20,
I'm sorry,
currently
Diane.
21 loci or locations on the DNA that we test.
How do you compare DNA found on evidence to a specific individual?
So we use the profile that we develop, and we also develop profiles from known blood or buccal samples. And then we make a comparison based on those two profiles to see if the alleles that are in each loci or location are the same or different.
So on about January 30th of this year, did you receive items from the Dubuque Police Department for testing?
I did.
And did you in fact perform testing?
I did.
Did you author 2 separate reports concerning your testing?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Show you what's been marked, States Exhibit 37 and 38. Can you tell me what those documents are?
37 is the DNA report that was issued on March 4th of 2024. That is the my initial report. Item 38, Exhibit 38 is a report I issued on April 3rd of 2024.
Are these both true and accurate copies of your reports?
Yes, they are.
I would move to admit Exhibit 37 and 38.
Any objection?
No objection.
37 and 38 are both admitted.
So if we look at Exhibit 37, on the first page, there's a listing on there. Could you explain what that is?
That is under the heading of items as described by submitting agency. So the list lists the lab number that is assigned once it's submitted, the agency case or agency item number, and then the description that the agency gave us.
And then there's a listing of the items that you tested?
This was all that was submitted. Yes.
Okay. So you didn't necessarily test all of them?
Correct.
Why would you not test some of them?
We tried to look at what would be considered the most probative evidence first. And if we develop profiles from that, don't necessarily look at everything in the case, but we can always go back if requested to.
Your Honor, may I publish Exhibit 37?
Yes.
So of all those items, which ones did you test? Or should I start with which ones did you not?
Let's see here. The ones that I did not examine at that time were the nasal swabs, the right hand finger clippings, and left hand finger clippings from Tyler Dazey.
Those would be numbers 2, 3, and 4?
Correct.
And then if you go to the second page on your results of examination, that would explain that?
Yes. Also on items 15 and 16, which were the right hand fingernail scrapings and left hand fingernail scrapings from Jennifer Dazey.
Okay, you also did a sexual assault kit?
Yes.
And were there any findings there of significance?
Well, screening did not indicate the presence of seminal fluid on the items, and no sperm were observed, and no DNA factors foreign to Jennifer Dazey were detected in the profiles developed from the epithelial fraction of the oral sample, the epithelial fraction of the anal sample, or the epithelial fraction of the vaginal sample.
So in layman's terms, no significant findings there?
There's nothing foreign to Jennifer Dazey.
Thank you. So then you also looked at items 7 and 8.
Yes.
These were blood stains from the dining room and from the hallway, is that correct?
That's what they're labeled as, yes.
What were your findings on those specimens?
For item 7, screening indicated the presence of blood on the swabs from dining room, and the DNA profile developed matched the known DNA profile of Jennifer Dazey, and the probability of finding this profile in a population of unrelated individuals chosen at random would be less than 1 out of 310 octillion.
So it's safe to say that the blood belonged to Jennifer Dazey.
Unless she has an identical twin.
And that would be the same for for number 8, 7 and 8 both?
Yes, screening also indicated the presence of blood on the swabs from hallway floor, and the DNA profile developed matched the known of Jennifer Dazey with the same statistic.
Okay, item number 9 was a swab from the bathroom sink. What were your findings on that?
Screening indicated the presence of blood on the swabs from bathroom sink. The DNA profile developed indicated a mixture of 2 individuals, and due to the mixture complexity, no further interpretations can be made.
Could you explain a little bit about what the mixture and complexity mean as it pertains to DNA?
So when I said you get half your DNA from your mother and half your DNA from your father, so you have 1 or 2 alleles at each location. When you have multiple people, you will see 3 or 4 alleles at each location. When there is not enough difference in the contributors, so if they're about equal or if there's a very low amount, you'll be able to see that you have multiple people, but you won't be able to separate the 2 profiles out.
So in other words, there was DNA there, there was just a mix and you couldn't pull out any individual people, right?
Correct.
Okay, let's look at item number 10, the hatchet. What were your findings on that?
Screening did not indicate the presence of blood on 2 stains on the blade and head of the hatchet. But screening indicated the presence of blood on 3 areas on the handle of the hatchet.
Did you do that screening for blood or did someone else?
I did.
Oh, when you handled the hatchet, what condition was it in?
I'm not, it was.
Did it appear to have been cleaned or scrubbed or washed?
Not that was obvious, no.
Were there, cakes of mud or dirt or anything on it?
Not that I recall.
Did you find blood on the handle?
Yes.
What were your determinations on that?
I took 1 sample at this time from one of the areas, and the DNA factors detected were too weak for conclusive interpretation.
And again, meaning to lay people?
There's some DNA on there, but there's not enough to determine a profile that is strong enough for comparison.
Okay. Item number 11, you took sample from the bathtub drain. What was your findings there?
Screening indicated the presence of blood on the swabs from bathroom tub drain. The DNA profile developed indicated a mixture of 2 individuals. The profile of the major contributor was consistent with the known DNA profile of Tyler Dazey. The probability of finding this profile in a population of unrelated individuals chosen at random would be less than 1 out of 130 septillion. The additional factors present were insufficient to determine the profile of the minor contributor.
Did you find evidence of blood in the sample that you took from the bathtub drain?
screening indicated the presence of blood on those swabs, yes.
Was there any testing done to determine whether that was human, animal, or other type of blood?
No, the only thing I did at this time was the DNA testing after that.
Okay, so the DNA, the DNA testing that you did, you found DNA, but that didn't necessarily come from the blood, did it?
It's possible it came from another source, yes.
So if someone took a shower and shed skin or hair or any other things, that could give up DNA as well, is that right?
Yes.
How does DNA degrade?
So with cleaning products, again, for example, in our lab, we use either alcohol or bleach, a 10% bleach solution to clean between cases and clean our racks and stuff that we put samples in. So that would degrade UV light. So there, any other cleaning products and sometimes time, heat, they can all degrade DNA.
If a person had taken a shower recently, would you think there'd be a better probability of finding DNA as opposed to someone who took a shower a week before in that same tub?
Yes.
All right, let's look at number 12 and 13. We might as well do them together. Those are blood spatters. What were your findings on those?
So for number 12 and 13, screening indicated the presence of blood on the swabs from jewelry box and bedroom wall. The DNA profiles developed matched the known DNA profile of Jennifer Dazey, and the probability of finding this profile in a population of unrelated individuals chosen at random would be less than 1 out of 310 octillion.
So when you get those samples, there may be DNA in a house, for instance, on the wall of someone, right?
That's possible, yes.
And if you have blood on there and you take that sample, is the likelihood of the DNA being in the blood higher than the DNA that would just be pre-existing on the wall before the blood was there?
Yes.
So it would be very unlikely to take a sample of blood and find that the primary contributor was the person whose DNA was on the wall to begin with, if that makes sense.
Yes, I think it would be more likely in this for blood on a wall when you take a sample for the DNA profile, especially a single source, to be from the blood as opposed to background DNA that's on the wall.
So the blood would be the primary one, as you've been talking about, right?
Yes.
And there may be other DNA mixed in, but it's going to be minimal.
In most circumstances, yes.
All right, let's look at Exhibit 38. Yes. May I publish Exhibit 38 here?
Yes.
And again, on this one, we've got 4 items listed. Did you test all 4 of those?
I did.
And this was a follow-up testing?
Yes.
You did later? Why did you do a follow-up testing?
I spoke with somebody from the Butte Police Department and they requested additional testing.
Okay, so let's look at 3 and 4. What were those?
3, the screening did not indicate the presence of blood on the right hand fingernail clippings from Tyler Dazey, and the DNA factors detected from swabs of the right hand fingernail clippings from Tyler Dazey were too weak for conclusive interpretation.
That would not be uncommon, would it?
No.
In taking fingernail clippings?
That's not uncommon, no.
How about item number 10?
The screening indicated the presence of blood on 2 areas of the handle of the hatchet. No DNA profile was developed from swabs of the area on the SOG side of the hatchet handle. The DNA profile developed from swabs of the area under the S on the hatchet handle indicated a mixture of 2 individuals. The profile of the major contributor was consistent with the known DNA profile of Jennifer Dazey. The probability of finding this profile in a population of unrelated individuals chosen at random would be less than 1 out of 2.5 octillion.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
And you what's been marked Exhibit 14. Is that the same hatchet that you examined?
Yes, it is.
Can you see your marks on there?
Yes, I can.
Could you show the jury where you did the testing on there?
On this side, under the blade side on the handle, is where you can see I've circled it, and I have 10.1 listed. 10.2 is adjacent to that on the adjacent side of the handle. And then 10.3 is a small stain here under where it says the SOG here on the towards the bottom half of the handle. And that's where I circled and tested that area.
So when you say under the S, that means below it on the handle, not actually under it.
Correct.
So your findings on 2 of those did not show any DNA, or you couldn't get a profile, is that right? Or am I misreading that?
Yes. So in 10.1, the DNA factors detected were 2 weak. 10.2, I did not develop a profile. And so yeah, that, if that answers your question.
Yes. And 10.3 is where you did develop that profile.
Correct.
And again, that was Jennifer Dazey.
The major contributor, yes.
Yes. And you had another individual there, but that was not enough to develop the profile, is that right?
Right. There is one additional factor present that was insufficient to determine the profile of the minor contributor.
Did you take swabs of the blade of that hatchet at some point?
Yes.
What did you find from that?
Screening did not indicate the presence of blood on the blade of the hatchet, and the DNA's factors detected from swabs of the blade of the hatchet were too weak for conclusive interpretation.
Could that be that there may have been blood on there which had been scrubbed or wiped away and left some DNA, but not enough to make a profile?
That's possible.
Did you find any actual blood on that weapon when you tested it?
The 3 areas that screen positive for the presence of blood.
But that wasn't visible to the naked eye, was it?
No, they were small and dilute stains.
Yeah, so you had to test for that just to pull it out of there? Would it be safe to say that this weapon had been cleaned of blood at some point, leaving only that little bit of residue behind?
That's outside my area of expertise.
Fair enough. I don't have any further questions.
Cross-examination. I've got it.
Interesting. Interesting.
37?
Yes.
Now, and you just testified about that
Hey,
in
Karen.
some detail, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about a few of these things. One of the things I want to ask you about is sources of DNA. Blood is one source of DNA, isn't it?
Yes.
What other sources of DNA are there?
Saliva, skin cells, seminal fluid.
Okay. We excrete DNA pretty much all the time, don't we?
I'm not sure what you mean by excrete.
Well, for example, there's even some small amount of DNA in the moisture in my breath, isn't there?
Yes, that would be from the skin cells inside your mouth.
And when I touch something, if I'm the type of person who leaves DNA, I would leave DNA on pretty much anything and everything I touch.
Potentially.
And the longer I'm in an area, for example, if we're talking about my bedroom, or we're talking about an item that I handle on a regular basis, like a jewelry box, I could leave a lot of DNA on those items, couldn't I?
You could.
If I've been living in a location for a number of years, those skin cells can actually accumulate, can't they?
Yes.
And I understand there's some degradation, but depending on the level of cleaning and what's used to clean. And we can clean with some things and it doesn't really affect the DNA, isn't that right?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about a few of the items up here. I understand that initially you did not test items 2, 3, and 4. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll talk about those when we get over to State's Exhibit 38. The first thing I want to talk about is item number 7. Now, this is reported as being a swab from a possible blood stain in the dining room.
Yes.
Okay. And I believe we heard, well, I believe on direct examination, you testified that you were able to develop a DNA profile from that?
Yes.
And that the swab tested positive for blood. Is that right?
Screening indicated the presence of blood, yes.
And I just want to make sure that I heard you correctly. Did you say that that was Jennifer Dazey's blood?
I did not.
If you did say that, that's actually more than you can say, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. You can't say that that's Jennifer Dazey's blood, can you?
No, I can only say that the profile developed from that swab matches her.
Okay. And that's for a couple of different reasons. Number one, did you test item 7 to determine if it was human or animal blood?
I did not do that test, no.
Were you aware that there was animal blood in the area?
Yes.
Okay. But you didn't test to determine whether or not the blood stain in item 7 was human or animal blood.
Correct, I did not.
And as I understand it, when you swab an area, especially if it's wet, for example, if I touch a table and I walk away, but if I get that wet with something and I swab it then, doesn't that actually increase the number of skin cells and stuff that I'm going to pull off of that item that I'm swabbing? Potentially, if there's skin cells there.
Okay.
If there's DNA, touch DNA on that item, and I then moisten it a little bit, and then I swab it, I'm going to get the moisture, but I'm also going to get the touch DNA, aren't I?
You could potentially, if there's some there, yes.
Okay. And the fact that it's moist might actually increase the likelihood that I get that touch DNA, doesn't it?
I'm not sure how to answer that question.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you know if the DNA profile that you detected, and I understand it was Jennifer Dazey's DNA to the 310 octillion or something like that. Is that right?
The statistic, yes.
Okay. Do you know whether or not that DNA came from the blood, or did it come from skin cells or touch DNA that was located in that same area that was swabbed?
That cannot be determined.
And the likelihood of whether or not it came from one or the other would depend on whether or not that was animal or human blood to some extent, wouldn't it?
Technically, yes.
Because if it was animal blood, you're not getting human DNA from it, right?
Correct.
It would also depend to some extent on how much
questions
exposure
are
to her
stupid.
DNA that location on the floor had, wouldn't it?
Technically, yes.
All right. And that's essentially why you're not able to tell us whether or not item 7, even though it tested positive for blood, you're not able to tell us whether or not that was Jennifer Dazey's blood.
Correct.
Are you?
I cannot say that, correct.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you would expect to find touch DNA and, well, essentially touch DNA or skin cell DNA from other DNA sources for someone where they live?
In some areas more than others, but yes, in the areas that they live.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some of these. Number 8 is a swab from a possible blood stain in a hallway. Did you screen to see, well, let me ask you this. Did you screen to determine whether blood was present?
Yes.
Okay. Did you screen to determine whether it was human or animal blood?
I did not.
Were you able to develop a DNA profile?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not that DNA profile came from the blood, or could it have come from other touch DNA located on the swab?
I cannot say with any certainty that it came, or with any, I cannot say for sure whether it came from the blood, no.
And it would not be unusual to find Jennifer Dazey's DNA on the hallway floor right outside her bedroom in a house where she's lived for several years, would it?
On a general floor in a house, I would not necessarily expect to find that a large amount of DNA. So is it possible? Yes.
Okay. Did you find a large amount of DNA?
I'd have to refer to my notes to see what the estimate of that was.
Okay. Let's talk about item 9, which is the swab from a possible blood stain in the bathroom sink. Did you screen that swab for blood?
Yes.
And was there blood present?
Screening indicated the presence of blood, yes.
Did you test to see whether or not that was human or animal blood?
I did not.
Were you able to develop a DNA profile?
There was DNA factors detected, yes.
Okay. Were you able to develop a profile?
I'm not sure what you mean by develop a profile.
Were you able to determine whose DNA it was?
No, I was not able to determine whose DNA it was.
All right. Sorry, they have our computers on a timer. With regards to, we'll skip item 10 because for the moment, with regards to item 11, that's the swab from around the bathtub drain. And I think you testified about that. It's on direct examination?
Yes.
Okay. You would expect to find a lot of different sources of DNA in a bathtub drain, wouldn't you?
There are potentially a lot of sources, yes.
Okay. Now, this was swabbed. You didn't actually see the drain. You just saw the swab from the drain, right?
Correct. I saw only the swab.
Okay. Did you screen the swab for blood?
Yes.
Okay. Did the screening test positive for blood?
The screening indicated the presence of blood. Yes.
Did you test whether or not that was human or animal blood?
I did not.
And I apologize because, I mean, obviously you know what my next question is on each of these, but we still need to go slow so that she can take it all down. We can't talk at the same time. Were you able to develop a DNA profile?
Yes.
And whose DNA profile were you able to develop?
There was a mixture of DNA on this, and the profile of the major contributor was consistent with the known of Tyler Dazey.
Now, are you able to say that that's Tyler Dazey's blood?
No, I am not.
Okay. And that's because the DNA profile could have come from, well, skin cell DNA or hair DNA or any of the other sources of DNA that you would find in a bathtub drain.
Potentially, yes.
And you would expect to find somebody's DNA in the bathtub drain where they tend to bathe, wouldn't you?
I would say it would not be an unexpected finding to find their DNA there.
Okay. Item number 12. This is an interesting one. Item number 12 is a swab from possible blood stain on the top of the jewelry box in the bedroom. Is that right?
That's what it was listed as, yes.
Okay. You didn't actually see this jewelry box. You just saw the swab.
Correct. I only saw the swab.
Did you screen the swab for blood?
I did.
And did it test positive for blood?
Screening indicated the presence of blood on the swabs from jewelry box.
Did you test to see whether it was human or animal blood?
I did not.
Were you able to develop a DNA profile from the swab?
Yes.
And whose DNA profile were you able to develop from the swab?
The DNA profile developed matched the known of Jennifer Dazey.
Now, and this may seem silly, but you're not actually able to say that that DNA profile came from the blood, are you?
No, I cannot say that.
So you can't actually even say that that's Jennifer Dazey's blood, can you?
I cannot say that.
Moving on to item number 13. That was a swab collected from a blood stain on a bedroom wall. And I understand your testimony on direct examination was that
That ain't me, y'all.
And what was the result of the test?
Screening indicated the presence of blood on the swabs from bedroom wall.
Well, did you test to see whether or not it was animal or human blood?
No, I did not.
What did
Were you able to develop a DNA profile from the swab?
Yes, I was.
And as I understand it, that was Jennifer Dazey's DNA.
Correct.
Are you able to tell us whether or not that DNA came from the blood on the swab, or did it come, or could it have come from other sources of touch DNA on the swab?
I cannot say.
So you're not able to actually tell us whether or not that blood is Jennifer Dazey's blood either?
I cannot say that.
Let's move to State's Exhibit number 38. And I put that up there on the screen for you as well.
We're going to take a little halt. We're going to say goodbye to our fabulous interpreter. Bye. She's got an appointment today, so she's got to go to another job. Thank you so much, love. Blessings. So I guess I get to do it now. No, I can't. She's leaving. She can't. I can't. She's leaving. I can't interpret. So if anybody's deaf and watching, you're deaf and watching me. Sorry, can't have interpreter. She needs to go to another job right now. So y'all, what did she test for? What did she test for? I want to know. Other than blood. We're wasting so much time with this testimony. My humble opinion.
The state didn't really talk about this one, but I think I want to talk about it just to emphasize the point. Item number 2, that was a nasal swab collected actually from Tyler Dazey, wasn't it?
That's what it was listed as, yes.
Okay. And you would expect to find Tyler Dazey's DNA in his nose, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Okay. It would be in the mucus in his nose. He's got hair in his nose. I mean, all those different sources.
Mucus and skin cells, yes.
Okay. Now, when you tested that, did you test it for the presence of blood?
I did.
Did it test positive for blood?
Screening indicated the presence of blood on the nasal swabs from Tyler Dazey.
Okay. Did you test that to determine whether or not it was human or animal blood?
I did not.
Were you able to develop a DNA profile from that?
Yes, I was.
And whose DNA profile were you able to find in the swab?
So there is no DNA factors foreign to Tyler Dazey in the profile developed from the nasal swabs.
So you found Tyler Dazey's DNA in the swab?
Yes.
Okay. But interestingly enough, you're not able to say that that was Tyler Dazey's blood, are you?
I am not.
And that would be for the same reasons we've discussed before, isn't it?
Yes.
Let's talk about item 10. All right. I understand that you screened two additional, item 10, you initially screened one area. Is that right?
I initially screened 3 areas.
Okay.
Actually, on the handle only.
Right.
Okay, so there's 3 areas on the handle that I screened initially.
When I look back at when you screened those 3 areas initially, what did you find in your report dated March 4th?
Screening indicated the presence of blood on 3 areas of the handle of the hatchet.
Okay. As I understand it, at that time, you only tested one for DNA?
Correct.
Okay. And that would be the one that's marked on the hatchet as 10.1?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find any DNA factors at that time?
Yes.
Were you able to develop a DNA profile?
The DNA factors were too weak for conclusive interpretation.
Did you test to determine whether or not that was human or animal blood?
10.1, I did not.
And I think you said that you also tested the blade and head of the hatchet.
Correct.
But you didn't find blood on the blade or head of the hatchet.
Yes, screening did not indicate the presence of blood on blade and head of the hatchet.
Now, looking at exhibit number 38, your report dated April 3rd. You then tested 2 more spots on the hatchet, as I understand it, 10.2 and 10.3. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, as I understand it, these 2 areas had already tested positive for the presence of blood.
Yes, screening indicated the presence of blood on those 2 areas.
Did you test to determine whether or not it was animal or human blood?
Yes.
Okay. And what were you able to determine?
It was human blood.
All right.
The screening test indicated.
For both 10.2 and 10.3?
Yes.
All right. And were you able to develop, as I understand it, a DNA profile on only 10.3?
Yes.
And that was the DNA profile of Jennifer Dazey?
The major contributor was, yes.
Okay. And there was a minor contributor who wasn't identifiable?
Correct.
Were you able to detect any DNA on the blade of the hatchet?
Yes.
And I know you testified on direct examination a little bit about this, but the fact that you were able to detect DNA on the blade of the hatchet what does that indicate with regards to the likelihood that the hatchet was washed or cleaned or scrubbed?
I can't say. That's outside my area of expertise. I can't say whether that indicates or does not indicate cleaning.
Get on another person, dude. This is ridiculous.
You did find touch DNA is what it would have to be, right?
I can't say the source of the DNA. I can just say it did not screen. The screening test did not indicate the presence of blood.
But there was DNA on the blade of the hatchet.
Yes.
Were you able to develop a profile?
There were factors detected, but not enough to make any interpretation.
With regards to the DNA profile that you developed on 10.3, all right, are you able to say definitively that that came from the blood?
No.
So you're not able to say whether or not that was Jennifer Dazey's blood?
I cannot say that.
Come on, dude. Let's get off of this. Oh, I got to put myself back on camera. Sorry. We know that Poppers is deceased. We know mother is
Were you ever
deceased.
asked to test a shower curtain?
No.
In spirit. Oh. This woman's like, get me off of the stand already.
Nothing further.
Thank you, Jesus.
Mr. Nelson? Thank you, Your Honor. You're a scientist, aren't you?
Yes.
No.
You can't say much of anything in the scientific world with absolute certainty, can you?
No.
So when
With
you're
certainty, I
answering
can
these
say I'm bored of
questions
this.
today about certainty, that's sort of where you're coming from, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolute certainty. But in many cases, you can say there's a very high likelihood, couldn't you?
Yes.
So if you take swabs of blood off the floor and off of the jewelry box on the wall, it is possible to get other DNA, correct?
Correct.
But isn't blood usually swabbed because it's a very good source of DNA?
Yes.
So when you take a blood swab off of a wall or jewelry box or any other item, wouldn't you expect that to be the dominant contributor when you're testing for DNA, as opposed to background DNA that might have been there before?
In most cases, yes.
When you do a blood screen, that's just a test for blood or not blood, isn't it?
Correct.
And for the most part, it doesn't test for human or animal. It's just blood, right?
For those screening tests, it's just whether or not it is blood.
If you tested animal blood, would you expect to find animal DNA?
With the testing that I do, we only detect human DNA.
So if it were animal blood, you wouldn't detect anything based on your testing, correct?
I would not get a profile from animal blood with the testing that I do.
If you had animal blood, and you're probably not going to get a DNA profile of Jennifer Dazey from that, are you?
It would not come from animal blood if it was her profile, correct?
Thank you. I don't have anything further.
Mr. Blair?
That's kind of a misleading question though, isn't it? Because the swab doesn't just have the blood on it, does it?
I don't know what the swab has on it, besides that it's screened positive for blood.
Right. And if it is animal blood and you detect human DNA, that human DNA would have had to have come from some other source, right?
Yes, if it was animal blood and a human DNA profile, it would have had to come from some other source.
Okay. So when you say that blood is a dominant contributor for human DNA, only human blood is a dominant contributor for human DNA.
Yes.
And that's the problem, is that if you haven't determined whether or not it's human or animal blood, you don't know whether or not the human DNA came from the blood or from some other source of DNA.
I can't say with certainty that a profile from blood swab does not have any other sources of DNA in it.
And that's one of the reasons why you're not able to tell us whether or not any of the blood is actually Jennifer Dazey's blood, isn't it?
I cannot say with certainty that the profiles I developed from the swabs are her blood, no.
Not just with, well, not even a reasonable degree of certainty, are you?
There's no statistic or studies that I'm aware of that have tried to determine a number to put to that or a degree of certainty.
Okay. Nothing further.
Not to beat dead horses, but you can't say with absolute certainty, but
You're going to
can
beat the
say
dead
with
horse.
a pretty high likelihood, can't you?
Yes, we do use known blood samples taken from a person to develop known profiles. So I know that you can get DNA from blood and the white blood cells that are in blood.
Different states do it differently. Even counties do it differently.
To if it was another source.
Thank you. Nothing further.
She's like, please,
Okay,
please,
thank you, ma'am.
nothing
You're
more.
free to go.
Thank you.
Thank Jesus. That's what she's saying.
Okay, perfect spot for us to break for lunch. Remember the admonition I've given you before. Report back to the jury room. We'll try to start up again around 1:20.
What time is it there? What would that put us at? So what time is it there? I know it. It's the same time we are. It's in our same time zone. I'm central. They're central too. Good. Okay. Hold on, guys. We will be going to lunch. I'll leave it on the screen. Okay, guys, I'll share with you what's going on. My doctor requested a wheelchair for me because I have RA and sometimes it's hard to walk. And I told them that I can talk, but I can't hear. Please text me. Don't call me. Text me. They said they tried calling multiple times. I didn't answer, so they canceled the order. I'm like, what part of freaking deaf do you not get? I'm reading everything this woman says. Oh, guys, that's all kind of sort of wrong. Oh, I'm pissed. I got a wheelchair from this company 10 years ago. Now, people, I walk a lot of the time, but there are times I have to be in a wheelchair. And it's 10 years old. My doctor gave the script, we put in the order, went through the insurance, all of that. And they said they called me back and I never contacted them. And then she said, well, she goes, can I have a number? And I gave her my number. She goes, that's not what we have on file. And I said, I confirmed my number when I called and placed the order. She read it back to me. Well, that's not what we have on file. That's not my fault. So now I got to go back to the doctor, get a prescription. It takes 2 months just to get an appointment to be fitted for the wheelchair. And it's been 3. It can take up to 6 months to get a wheelchair because they're custom. Well, I tried to email and they said, well, emails go to spam folders. People don't get them. I'm like, okay. Luckily, I'm not in a flare-up and I don't need it yet. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do, I'm going to start a stream at about 1:10. I guess they're Central Standard Time, so 1:10 my time. Hopefully, I'm not off. I'll keep an eye out. Please hop back on. Please join us again. I hate to have people do that, but if I stream over 6 hours and something should get hit by copyright, I can't edit it out. Okay? So I'm going to go get me in a good mood. Y'all are so precious. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. See you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.